guilty of crime.
And we're back. Happy Friday, everyone. Good to see you. I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime. You guys know what to do. If you've been here, do me a favor. Hit that like button. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button and click the all notifications bell. All right, let's get this into the algorithm. This is one hell of a show today, guys. Happy Friday. Like I said, the case of David and Celeste has just blown my mind. The deeper I get into it, the more I realize that web sleuths solved this crime long before law enforcement ever touched it. I didn't realize it went that deep. Happy Friday, Flo Joe. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Jinx is in the house. Sin City Sweetie. Happy Friday, my favorite day. Guys, the more I dig into this case, the more I realize it's all coming out. Unless there's a plea, it's all coming out. Not only that, but today we're going to focus on the deleted Discord leaked messages that expose incriminating photos and more information that's going straight to court, guys. And we've been talking a lot about David's parents, but just kind of lightly talking about the parents and the culpability and his family. Well, guess what, guys? There's a lot of culpability and a lot of evidence that his family knew. And now that his brother Caleb wants to be an artist, well, he says he's a music artist and he wants to have a breakout, he's distancing himself from his brother and he's talking way too much. He shouldn't be talking that much, but hey, it's better for us and to get the justice for Celeste that she deserves. Cruz fam 8922, welcome to the channel. Thank you for coming. Hit that like button. I'm glad you subscribed. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. What's up, Cuffy? Good to see you. Sadie's mama, how you doing? Happy Friday, everybody. Mama Sage, Mama Pearl, Midnight Lace, Krista. You don't know where I am? California time. Always California time. I had to give you a hard time. You're like, wait, what? And yes, I missed you guys yesterday, and I took your advice. I tried to lighten the mood because the day before we covered probably one of the most harshest cases that I've ever had to cover. All right. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So I had to lighten the mood because I cannot be that dark all the time. And although this is a dark case, this really is a dark case. Right now, we're talking about the parents' culpability, the brother of David, and what's next. We're going to see juicy, incriminating evidence and videos that you've never seen before. One that was filmed just hours after David allegedly committed the murder. So, guys, Clark, thank you so much for being here. Everybody else, thank you for being here. Millie Mills, welcome. Second time. Love it. And, guys, everybody, thank you. Yesterday was the fun run for my daughter, Baby Guilty. And boy, did they kick butt and took names. So thank you, everybody, that was able to donate that I could share with. I cannot wait to meet you guys in Vegas. Let's go. All right, everyone. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much, Clark. My girl, big hugs to you. I can't wait to hang out with you in Vegas. I'm so excited. I wish it was like next week, although I'm not quite ready yet. Don't tell anyone though. Shh. I feel like David because hey, don't tell anyone I just killed somebody and it's all over the internet. I really think that David's twisted mind and being signed up with Interscope Records really got him thinking that he was untouchable, guys. And thank you, Cool and Chris, for getting us started off. I'll get there. Allie says, I forgive you for leaving me, but let the show run. You got it. Happy, thank you for the 4 membership, Cool and Chris. Happy to be part of the family, and we happily welcome you. And please thank Cool and Chris if you received a Guilty of Crime membership. Guys, this is going to be insane. I don't even know what's going to happen with this case at this point. And boy, do I hate I hate getting obsessed with cases because I can't stop digging into them. Lady for Justice, I'm going to miss you. Are going to miss it, but next time. I'm also in Cali. If you ever come to Northern Cali, let me know. Tracy just gifted a membership. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, obviously, it's always our goal to get to the goal. But I'd like to get to the goal today. And if you guys would like to do call-ins because your mind is exploding when I'm done telling you what I'm telling you, we can absolutely have some people call in to talk about it. Because, guys, there is so much here. And somebody sent me an unreleased. So we're going to talk about the younger brother. I'll probably kick it off with that. Somebody sent me an unreleased, and I saw it everywhere, unreleased music from David. I guess it was released after with the Celeste with her voice at the end. I wish I could play it. It was something like I never needed you, or I didn't need you anyway. And at the end, he puts Celeste's voice heavy in there, and he is very clear when he says, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, or she's dead, she's dead, she's dead. Guys, what I'm trying to correlate this to is the fact that, well, the younger brother is going to deny the cover up, but he is going to address the photo that we saw when he was 15, meaning Celeste was only, 11, like maybe 13 at the time, tops. So we're going to hear from him, but guys, it's not a secret if I'm on social media with 34,000 subscribers and I'm literally telling you guys, I just make up a name, Sarah. And every time you hear me say Sarah, there's some girl that either looks like Sarah or there's a doppelganger or it's actually her. Then I go on to tell you, yeah, we broke up. She's no longer around. But I'll go into my Discord and say, yeah, she's dead. She's dead. She's dead. I love murder and blood. And let me show you some things. Oh, and by the way, the same day he kills her, her handbag is right by him. When you start matching up pictures, it becomes uncanny. Okay. So if 3 years difference, that means Celeste was 12, possibly almost 13. Texas Angel. Thank you again, Lady for Justice. This is just, I've never seen anything like this because of the day and age that we're in. I've never, ever seen anything like this because we are in the age of social media and everything is either recorded, video record, audio record, or these dumb kids are on there filming themselves doing crimes and they plead not guilty when all of it's for us to see. So today I think it's going to be a little mind-blowing because yeah, let's get rid of the trolls because these people are just, yeah, we're gonna ban the users that ban all users that come in trying to talk crap. All right, bye Tito. See you never. You got to make another account. What's up, Catsy? Good to see you. Past perfect Pam member for 9 months. Guys, it's disgusting to monetize a video of a girl that passed away, that was murdered by this guy. Okay. This is terrible, right? Terrible. TMZ doesn't do that all day and no other channels ever monetize their stuff. Well, if that's the worst you can get, then welcome in. Remember, for 22 months, still around. Love it here. And guys, I don't care. I like when people talk crap. It makes me just own up to who I am and what I'm doing and say, this is what it is. Go ahead. All right. So bring it on. But guys, I'm going to be reading a lot and introducing a lot of things into the case. So mods, please do me a favor. Don't fight with the trolls. Just boot them out. All right. And if I see them, they're getting booted, not only booted, but they're going to be gone, like banned from my channel. All right. So thank you. I say that to say this. Look at this. I got the front. Last time I was supposed to show it to you. Thank you to Flojo. If y'all can drop a link to him, please do. Then you have all these new cars like Tesla that records everything. Bingo. That was actually the car that Celeste's body was found in the front trunk of, thanks to Flojo. All right. I didn't get to show you the last time, but you can kind of see, the decline in what David was doing. And did you guys know, like, I didn't even get down with the get down on this. I did not get down with the get down that David was telling people that his car got stolen and that's why it was like not anywhere. He literally is telling these people, he's full on the stream, telling one thing to one crowd and then goes into his Discord in another place and goes and says, yeah, that's bullshit rumors. My car was stolen. You're tripping. You're going to be exposed, David. All of it's coming out. There's 111 people in chat. Let's kick this off with a prayer for Celeste that she gets the justice she deserves. And thanks to the social media sleuths for bringing all this out. All right. Justice for Celeste, guys. All right. That's the car. And I'm going to just run right into this real quick. Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right. Yeah, they stole it and parked it around the corner. Let's check this out because even David's brother is turning on him. The parents aren't, but I got to tell you guys something. I think when I tell you this, you're going to think even something, you're going to be like, but can't take the credit for the photo. It did come. That's cool though. You sent it to me. All good. Thank you for sending it to me. I appreciate you. Justice for Celeste. All right. So even his brother's although he's trying to drum up his career, he's also turning against, and I say the family, by doing things like this. Right. David's younger brother denies a cover-up. He says he wasn't close to the singer, and I'm going to read all the stuff. I have the actual posts. All right. Now, this was on the 7th. This came out yesterday. There's been several other articles since then that have come out that are all individually about David's brother says this, or David's brother does that, or all right. Just, this is the one. He denies the cover-up. He wasn't close to David, the singer, and he didn't know Celeste much, but he did know her. He's not denying that the family didn't know her and they didn't know about things, so to speak. All right. So David's younger brother, Caleb Burke, is definitely trying to separate himself from this firestorm. And I don't blame him in the Celeste Rivas Hernandez murder case. Also, while trying to launch his own music career online. All right. In a lengthy Instagram post, Caleb said Thursday that he stayed silent because the case is ongoing. It's an ongoing legal matter, and he felt compelled to speak out after social media users accused him of helping cover for his brother. I'm going to get back to that and read it. I've seen people say that I knew what was going on and protecting my brother. That's not true. Right. So I'm going to read this and we're going to talk about it as well. But I got to tell you, guys, this is not looking good for David. And this is not looking good for the defense at all. And I've been going over documents with you and talking about the parents and saying, I don't know what's going to happen with David's parents. But guys, in my opinion, they knew. They tried to all distance himself. And can I tell you what? It's been going around. The rumor's been going around about DeWood Burke, David's father, being an attorney. Guys, it's much worse. He's not an attorney at all. But can I tell you something else? He's not an attorney. He's a litigation support manager. But you know what he litigates and you know the support that he gives? Does anyone know in chat? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna say thank you for the 5 guilty of crime memberships. Please thank Midnight Lace. You guys tell me what you think he does, or Flojo, if you know exactly what he does, tell me, because this is either really ironic or actually a coincidence. It's wild AF to me. It's wild that so much evidence has come out. So much evidence has come out, and David had months to delete stuff, and yet you're getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. No, I'm going to tell you, his father is a litigation support manager that specializes in legal technology and e-discovery. Now, it's not a law practice, but guys, it's specializing in technology and which is like internet discovery. It's the process of identifying, preserving, and analyzing digital evidence for legal cases. And guess what? So he has a business administration with focus on computer information systems, and he provides technical and operational support to legal teams, especially in civil litigation. So it's more on the civil side. He is not a licensed attorney. He cannot practice law, represent clients, or give legal advice. But now I see why everything that's happening is happening. I mean, how didn't when David changed his houses into the name of his parents, could his father not just tell him how to get rid of all his shit? What? I'm flabbergasted by this, period. Tracy, thank you so much for the guilty of crime membership. Lady for Justice, Janet Rawlings for being a member for 15 months, Perfect Pam for 9, Moore, a member for 22, and Love It, and then the 5 guilty of crime memberships. Thank you. That's wild. I just can't. Let's get into this with the brother, because it's all about the family and the Discord leaks that are all deleted now, right? Isn't that ironic? Yeah, don't you think? Wow. And DeWitt's twin brother is an attorney in New York. So what happened here? What happened is what I want to know. Why didn't they help him out? Okay, listen. So his brother, this made a big deal. It hit all the news streams, right? He says, I've been wanting to say something. Now I'm talking about Caleb, his brother. Okay. Everyone's up in arms. We knew he was coming out with music. He dropped 2 songs. One was called Sex. The other one, I don't even know. Don't care. He says, I've been wanting to say something for a while, but I have to be careful about what I say, as this is an ongoing legal matter. I don't want to make this horrible situation about me. I just want Celeste and her family. And then it stops. Okay. I just want justice for Celeste and her family. I've seen people say that I knew what was going on and I was protecting my brother. This is not true at all. I have not lived with my brother for years and was not very close with him. We didn't speak often other than when our family was brought on tour. Remember this, his family brought on tour or he was visiting home. I was around Celeste. Listen to this. I was around Celeste a few times when I was 15. I did not know her well, and I did not know her age. Okay. If he was 15 when he was around her in this picture, then the family was also there. The family did accompany David and his brother several times, especially before David turned 18. They went with him. Okay. So he's addressing the picture that is Celeste. He's confirming this is Celeste and him on June 27th of 2024. All right. People have been posting a video showing me backstage with her at one of David's concerts when I was 15. He's now 18, by the way. The news said he was 20, but that's not true. I've been wanting to address it, but people have even gone so far as to say I was sneaking her backstage, which is just not true. She was already at the show, and the video takes place after the show had already ended. In the video, we were sent to grab something from a fan that was in front of the stage, and we were walking back. Okay. You guys have all seen this. I know I've seen it a bunch of times, and we all actually speculated if it was Celeste or not. We now know 110% that that was in fact Celeste. All right. Thank you so much, Cool and Chris. Choo choo. We're in for a ride, guys. This case gets crazier the more you dig into it. And I don't blame you for not wanting to dig into it yourselves, because it's just what? Okay. Remember this when we start getting into the documents. All right. Remember all this that you guys are saying. And if you want to help towards the goal, thank you. My girl Tiff, if I need you, I'll definitely call you. I appreciate you, trolls. Be aware. The mods are going to kick ass today. All right. No holds barred today, guys. No holds barred. That means nothing's going down. All right. So look, here's 2 of 2, right? Let's read it. New companies such as TMZ and Daily Mail, as well as others, have started saying that I'm taking advantage of the whole situation to promote my music. And I'm just now launching my music career. This is not true at all. I've been releasing and posting music over the last 3 to 4 years and took over a half-year hiatus due to what happened. He's talking about Celeste. When he laid low, David laid low, the whole family. He changed his name online to, it's Caleb with the V. He was associating himself with the D4vd, but he changed it to Kova as he didn't want to associate himself with any of this. He says, I have not once mentioned this situation or my identity on my new accounts. TMZ even reported my age incorrectly, saying that I'm 20 when I just turned 18 in November. I have scheduled my first release under the new name before any of this became a headline. Now, that's true. This came out days before David's arrest. I'll give him that. All right. And the song came out 2 days before David's arrest. This project, music video, and songs were already in motion long before any news coverage around my brother resurfaced. My intent has never been to bring attention to myself or my music. This is the whole reason why I started from scratch. My decision to continue releasing music is not about any of this for attention. Music is my life. And after stepping away for months because of everything that's happened, I want to build my own path. All right. I know that there's going to be a bunch of people that are like mad. It's going to be a split decision in here. Let me hop to this to show you what he first started out with. Now, he says he hadn't said anything ever about anything, but he actually, you know what? Let me let's up to this. I'm not going to show it yet, but I had it up and I want to quote that his brother said, and then I'm going to show you all kinds of other stuff. I want you guys to realize that he, quote unquote, let me see what the quote was from Reddit, because I had it pulled up and then I dropped it. Reddit, Caleb, maybe Flojo says, what did he say? Kill all, and he says like PDF files or something, right? Hold on real quick. Caleb Hammer admits to Caleb Burke. I wish I had that. I totally had my stuff all set up and then I must have clicked out of it. All right. There it is. He says, brother of let me just show you this real quick before I get into it too deep, because this is going a little bit backwards in the timeline. All right, so let's remove this and take a look up here for me. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there he put a message up and it made it into Reddit, of course. But he didn't say pedophiles. He said PD. He spelled it different, like pedophiles or PEDO. All pedophiles and rapists should die following the arrest of David. So this was not the first time that he's spoken out. He actually did put that, and there it is. I didn't even realize it was there. There it is, guys. All pedophiles and rapists should die, period. That is directly from his brother, and that went silent for weeks and weeks after that, all right? What's up, Songbird? How you doing? Good to see you. and everybody else in chat. There's a lot of green in the house. I appreciate that. Mo, remember for 16 months, David was underage when the family met Celeste, and he more than likely lied about her age, just how he tried to lie to the police. Happy Friday. All right. And I'm going to say a little bit different that they knew after and they knew her age. So we'll get into all that and I'll show you. I'm not just going to tell you, right? I don't, I back everything I say up. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. Anyhow, that was David's brother's post after he got arrested, and it came out from the court that he had a bunch of pedo files, a bunch of CSAM on his phone. Then this came out from his brother. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised one bit that he's saying what he's saying now. I think he doesn't want to hurt obviously he doesn't want to hurt his family, but he doesn't want to hurt himself. He's over age and he's got to now make money for himself, right? All right, another thing I got to show you. And thank you to, I believe, who sent that? I don't remember who sent this to me because it was the last show, but this shows you clearly that David's family and Celeste Rivas Hernandez were at the exact same place at the same time. That was the concert, October 28, 2023, when he performed in Las Vegas. There's David with his family, excluding his brother. And then you look down there, David's taking pictures with some girl that has a halo angel. And then Celeste is down there on the bottom right corner. That was October 30th of 2023. They were in the same place at the same time at the same concert. And that might have even been the time that he's referring to. You let me know in chat if you guys know, because the timeline gets wild. So you see that they were there at the same time, same place, and sleuths didn't really put it together until this post. Esmeralda's mother, the girl that's in the photo, or Celeste's best friend, she put a picture of her and Celeste a couple days after the funeral. And we now know this is Caesar's Palace. Again, same place, same time, same area, same proximity. And you're going to see this throughout the whole show, that she was there with the family. They knew. Brother says he met her a few times. All right. And the family's just straight up lying, guys. I mean, they're straight up lying. I got to tell you, I say that when I say this. Hold on. Let me put this up real quick. I want to show you David's live stream after about 18 hours after murdering Celeste. I want to show you how weird he's acting, but the whole episode today is proof. It's proof that David's brother and family met Celeste and they knew her age. All right. Discord and social media proves everyone knew everything. And I'm talking about everyone. Discord moderators, social media, TikTokers, they all knew. Now, once the court documents were unsealed from Texas to California, the most detailed account of this investigation into the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez obviously remains about the Tesla and her dismembered remains being in the trunk. All right. So listen, the documents made it very public that only because of the interstate subpoena, remember, his parents live in Texas. Neo was wherever Neo was, and they still arrested him. Okay. They made an interstate subpoena, and they even offered the family to they'll pay for everything to get out there. Okay. The state confirmed that LA County prosecutors formally identified David Burke as the target of a grand jury murder investigation. Now, listen, guys, here's the thing. The Burkes publicly deny ever knowing Celeste, yet court documents show that all three family members were compelled to testify about what they knew of David's relationship with her. In their resistance to those subpoenas, which I showed you last time, the habeas corpus and the other one that was clearing the family, I can't remember the name right now, 3 pages, lots of documents on trying to get out of testifying. All right. Now, the judge on February 2nd ruled that he was going to enforce the compliance, suggesting prosecutors believe that the family may possess more relevant information. And guys, they're fighting hard. May 20th is going to come up. And if it's the 20th, I believe it's the first preliminary hearing. And then summer 2026, if the judge finds sufficient evidence, then the case will move to trial. Otherwise, prosecutors may seek a grand jury indictment. However, David, Colleen, and Caleb Burke all remain under subpoena. Their statements could be introduced at the hearing if they cooperated. But to wrap this up, David's parents and brother publicly claim ignorance in this, but court filings show otherwise, and the courts agree. They are going to make sure that they do what they need to get them there. All right. So with those court documents that came out, it suggests heavily and shows that not only are they trying to get out of it by filing different motions and documents in Texas, hoping that it will help them somehow in California, we're going to break it down today and show you the proof of the conflicting statements about the family not knowing them and the brother, and then what happens next. All right. Now, after the arrest, everything didn't come out. We didn't exactly know that, right? The documents started unsealing and the family started talking. They say they never met Celeste. They didn't know who she was. They had no involvement, and they didn't believe, and they believe David's innocent. All right. But prosecutors have fought so hard to not only force DeWitt, Colleen, and Caleb to testify before a grand jury. A Texas judge reviewed the evidence, guys, and guess what? They must testify. The ruling alone suggests prosecutors believe the family knows more than they're admitting to, and they have proof. All right. So let me show you. This is what I'm talking about here. I want to start with this so you can see how weird he's acting. And I was trying to look at his hand, because if you were to I have this little Chucky knife. Hey, we got the potato, guys. Look at that. All right, let me grab the knife from the potato if I can. Oh, it just came right off. Okay, when you hold the knife, right? When you hold the knife and you're stabbing someone, you usually hold it with the handle, and the handle goes like straight across, like a cross. And if you do that, then you get a full cross. So we saw his hand. It looked like it was injured, and he just drew in lines to make it look like a cross. So help me look for that. There's the knife, just a little knife. Little fake one that I'm showing you because I don't want to start getting out my real ones and getting into that, especially with these crazy freaking trolls, man. Oh, next thing you know, I'm involved in this case, right? Jay from Guilty of Crime was there, and it was her weapon. It was the murder weapon. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. All right, let's take a look at this, guys, and then we're going to I'm just going to show you how they're lying, how they're all lying. All right? Now, this was hours after, allegedly, we have to say, murdering Celeste at the late at night on April 23rd, 2025. David made a late appearance on his Twitch the following day, April 24th, in the late afternoon, just before his 100 Thieves album release party. All right. He acted as if he had no care in the world, and he prompted his album and tour tickets earlier the morning. Meanwhile, guess hours after killing Celeste, allegedly, the question remains, where had he left her body? Was he waiting and stalling for time? Was he streaming while he waited for the shovel to arrive? His reactions on this stream were uncanny, with no sign of concern as he made unhinged facial expressions as if nothing ever happened in the past 24 hours. And guys, it is sickening, and I will read some of the comments when we get there because the comments are everything. All right, check this out. Hours after allegedly killing Celeste. All right, guys. Thank you for.
Let me buy my buns. Oh, I gotta post it. I'm streaming too. Oopsie daisies, twin. Oopsie daisies, twin. Oopsie daisies, twin. Oopsie daisies, twin. Who got the bundle though? Who pre-saved the album though? The album come out in 4 hours. Who pre-saved?
Try to watch for the hand and stuff with me. It's only 2 minutes, so I'm gonna let it play and let you guys watch it. All right. Zav Girl put out a video on the cut tattoo. Turned out he was drawn. I thought so because I don't see it here either, but that's why I'm saying take a look for it. I mean, we don't want to, I don't go into Zav Girl's chat and, drop my name. So we'll try to not do that. Although, hey, if I would have never went on Zav Girl's channel, I would have never met Carly. I would have never met Sadie's mama. Yeah, look at his hand. That's what I'm saying. Look at it as we go. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Happy Friday, guys. And just know that we're going to be, off and on as we get ready for the Crime Con coming up. I'm not going to be here every single day, Monday through Friday, because I got to get ready for it. All right. So, yes, did you see me on the Zav Girl channel? I that's where I started. I was just on the panel. Anyway, yeah, glad we met. Oh no, I talked to Zav. I used to talk to Zav multiple times on a daily, so it's all good. All good in the hood. All right, let's continue. I'm gonna press play, look at his hand, see if you see anything, and I'm gonna be ready for the next thing after this. I'm showing you the proof that everybody knew everything, guys.
Who did that? Who did these? D4vd's. Bro, I just want to say big shout out to Fortnite, bro, for giving me the locker bundle. I've been waiting for this for so long, bro. Whoa. You guys don't understand. When I was playing this game, been playing this game since 2018. I actually started in season 2. I started playing Christmas season 2. And I was like, yo, I want to be as good as Ninja. When Ninja was the best player, I was like, yo, I want to be as good as Ninja. I want to get my own locker, but I want my own skin. We got our own locker, but we're so close to getting this skin, bro. Fortnite, yo, Epic Games, yo, thank you. I love you, Epic Games. Thank you. Thank you. When we get the skin, it's going to be a monumentous moment. Monumented.
I mean, you could either take it as he doesn't care or he doesn't care. We already think he's a narcissistic, homicidal maniac. And let me just add, as we watch the rest of this, just realize that he is more than likely taking uppers and downers. He's got Xanax, Coke, and whatever else Hollywood wants. All right. Whatever they want to give him. I really do think that he thought he was above this. He saw the way Interscope works and Hollywood people work, and he said, no way, I'm not getting away with this. I'm going to kill this girl. I'm going to document it, and I'm going to throw it in everyone's face, and I'm going to get away with it.
Moment. Yes. I'm so hyped, bro. I don't know what any of your plan was, bro, Diggy, but you're not him. I swear, not him, bro. What was that, twin? Chat.
Yep.
Where's Mr. Savage, bro? Mr. Savage, I'm calling you out, bro. I need my 1v1 back, bro. I'm good again. Come on now. I'm good at the game again.
I wonder why he's good at it.
I already
again.
had the skin, that's why.
What do you mean again? What happened? Did you take a break? This guy craved it.
I'm a furry on him. Hold on. Let me lock in. Where's reload at?
Yep.
Or should I play OG? Chat. What game mode should I play with this? Should I play OG? Furry.
He's hopped up real good, guys.
Here, twin. Chronic Joker 694. Who is that? David X Lil Tay. The biggest flexer. Bro, I seen Lil Tay flexing a whole bunch of hundreds. Like she tried to recreate the iconic money spread from that one dude and that one meme.
All right, I really don't want anyone to be confused, and especially not my cool and Chris. This video was 18 hours or less after he murdered Celeste. Now, I'm not saying after he allegedly murdered Celeste. I'm not saying after he dismembered her allegedly. I'm telling you, this was out. You can count the hours after Celeste, after her phone went cold after 10:30 p.m. the night that she was allegedly murdered by David. You can count the hours that he streamed this, and it was after he killed Celeste and before he went to go do his radio station and all his stuff for his new album. All right, let's continue.
I've yet to see a better money spread than that one dude. Bro, he curved it like a full 190 degrees, bro. Like, how do you get to that level of sauce?
Man, he really just, I think he just bought into his own stuff. I just can't understand it. But let's look at some of the comments from after, and then we'll continue focusing on the connections. All right. So this just came out. This was posted. Obviously, it's not there anymore. I'd say 95% of David's stuff got wiped out if it's under his name. TikTok just got rid of him, just banned his account, and it just keeps going. All right. So people posted this to say his energy is very strange. And I was about to say this. He seems manic. He seems like he's on a high. There's high and low lows. It looks like he's manic. That's what they say. Wonder how many drugs he was on during this. Bear in mind, he had just had his first album released and just killed someone and on drugs. Guy's brain must have been going 1,000,000 miles per hour. I agree. He looks like he's on something. He looks like he's on something in every live stream I've seen. Even if you delete everything, video, both him and Celeste look high if you watch their mouths and are moving them weirdly. All right. Someone says it's meth. As someone who had been around people who didn't take it, makes you crazy. All right. So that's the thing. I mean, people are putting this out to comment on it. The death penalty would be much worse. Life in prison. He could be in general pop and make friends, play cards, all that. Death penalty, which doesn't mean death, right? We understand this. We understand. But his energy is way off. At one point, he can't stop talking, probably to take the thoughts out of his brain about what happened. All right. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I'm not. That was posted 2 days ago. And then I've got some other David and Celeste pictures that have been wiped out from Discord and all the messages that were there. I'm going to show you that. And then we're going to connect the parents and the brother to Celeste even more so. All right. Good to see you guys. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. Morbidly upset. I really do think, though, deleted Discord pictures. I really do think, guys, that he thought he was untouchable. And due to the fact that Interscope Records has weird ties. When I say weird, I don't know if weird is the right tie, but Interscope has a lot of things going on that tied to allegedly sacrifices and other kind of weird things that you hear about. What's she saying? Uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, right? Was this live stream after the SB trip that night? Yes. And 2, I think so. I don't know. I've never worked out of prison. I don't know. But I can answer question 1. This was after his Santa Barbara trip. All right. He allegedly killed Celeste, went to Santa Barbara, came back the day later, 18 hours after 10:30 p.m. on April 23rd. Secondly, they probably drug test inmates, but I don't know. Did Foxy say yes? Okay. Yes and yes. Thank you, Foxy. All right, let's continue. I'm going to just show you some things that were deleted. You've probably seen some of them because they were obviously copied, but on his platform, as far as it goes, whatever he had posted, guys, he got rid of it. All right, let me go back real quick so you can see it better. Now, you guys know this is Celeste's hand, right? Celeste's hand, that was the finger that said David that he cut off, right? They were engaged, allegedly. So look at that. This one, I can't give you a time frame. These are deleted pictures, but it's Celeste. And then bathroom pictures. Forgot I left the stove cover while recording my cover. Bruh. I don't know what that means, but okay. What I had saved. All right, let's continue. If you guys know, talk about it. Also, Mark the Shark, what he's trying to show there. I don't know if that is like all of, like her shoes are there. I wonder if David was messing around with both Celeste. That's another thing. There were two Celestes that we're going to talk about, and she would sub in for the other. So they're saying the other Celeste would be there at the same time. So if you love me, let me go and run away before I know. My heart is just so dark to care. I don't destroy what isn't there. And these are Discord posts that were deleted. All right. David, smartass, and then deleted users. I don't know if the deleted user is David or supposed to be Celeste. So we'll read it as we go. I'm going back home Monday. Yay, yay. Awesome. Hopefully just in time for my baby's birth. What? Even the days he was barely active on here, probably the most active he ever talked. I wonder what that refers to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that refers to, but Flojo or anybody in chat that has been watching the crap out of this will know. All right, there again, David with the Hello Kitty. You can see it was like a younger time, July 1st of 2024. Where the F do you see a girl? Again, I don't, but these people do, these online sleuths, and then more text messages, right? And if you guys know the context, please talk about it in chat. Feel free, because I just don't, I'm usually not on there. Yeah, there was Cece. So that was the thing, Gigi. There's a whole story about it that I'm not going to read. Someone else is going to read it for me today about Celeste and Cece. There were two Celeste. That's what I thought. I thought it was possible rumors about Celeste being pregnant. But check this out. There was Celeste Rivas Hernandez and Celeste Herrera. Celeste Herrera and Celeste Hernandez were usually in different spots at different times. However, when they were in the same room at the same time, you can probably get 100 people to testify that they would call Celeste, they would call the second Celeste, not Riva, Celeste Hernandez. They called her Cece when she was in the presence of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. That's the only time they would call her Cece, and she would call Celeste Rivas Hernandez Celeste. All right. Cece was Jelly, and so was Neo, and so were a lot of others. So they're two Celeste, one Celeste Rivas, one Celeste Hernandez. When they were both in the same room at the same time, Celeste, the second one, was called Cece. All right. And so many people noticed that. Target Latinas with long curly hair. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just showing you some stuff that was deleted. Hey, I'm just going to check up on you. I don't want to talk to anyone. That's it. Okay, yes. Oh, OFC. But I have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you still going to talk to David? Are you going to go back with him? Because I don't want you to get any more trouble with him. I'm safe. And then she says, no, I'm not. Okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. I'm assuming this is one of her BFFs. Don't delete Insta. Love you too, and I won't. It says, wow, Ness. I'm sure somebody knows. I think that might be the girl that posted the Vegas shots, but anyhow, all right. I don't know why this is in there, but you got Celeste plus one other on it. I guess it's just showing that Celeste was one of the shared people on his, what is that, playlist maybe? All right. And then there you go. There's Celeste, which was her. She owned 13 songs, and David was a collaborator. So that's what they were showing. They were showing you that Celeste and David were on the same, I guess, like a playlist kind of thing. All right. That's what it is. And then let's see, what else do we have? Oh, this one got me right here. I think this is the last one, and then we're going to get into the parents. I didn't see that side by side before. A girl at Celeste school said going to school in baggy clothes, 5 months pregnant, have a pic, a YouTube comment. Yeah, that is a big speculation. But what I want to tell you is look at the purse. Hold on, I'm just going to take myself off completely. 1 second. I want you to look at the left picture. We've seen that left picture 100 times. Oh, Wowness is Celeste's account. But then there's two Celeste then, because Celeste was talking to Celeste. If that's Celeste, then Celeste was telling Celeste, are you okay? Make that make sense. All right. we've seen that picture 100 times with the purse. Now, that is at the day that Celeste was allegedly killed. That is David filming, doing some weird twerking thing with Celeste's purse in the background. Okay. There's more information every day. I know it does. And thank you, Sharko. All right. So there it is. I've told you before, the purse and the purse match, but I've never had a side by side like that. All right. We're going to get into the parents in just a second because it's all intertwined. And then they go to say they're all kids. Pedo David, he talks to all the time, and she's 15. People were starting to notice it. David response, I don't think you understand how messed up the music industry is on that side of things. MGK, Megan Fox, Cardi, Trippie Redd, all practice witchcraft and are part of the occult. First and last time I'll be speaking on this. There are many artists I stay away from for this reason. All right. So he's saying that these people, MGK, Megan Fox, Cardi, all these people that we love and know from Hollywood are into witchcraft and part of an occult, which I've heard rumors of from way more than just David. Okay. Gore to him, he loves gore over porn is what he's saying. I used to be addicted to watching gore, he says 2 years ago. And then he says, I love gore. Again, all this stuff is deleted. All right. This is stuff. And I'm not going to read this. I'm going to get into the video with it. This is the article that talks about the friend having David. Well, should I just read it? Let me see. Yeah, let me just read it then. Screw it. Okay. So I have a friend, and this is a girl that's talking about Celeste 1 and Celeste 2. Again, all deleted. Okay. Okay. And then I'll pop on the video of the parents and how they're tied. Okay, so listen. So I have a friend who was friends with David, and I was around David because of him. Heads up, it's a long read. My friend and I found out about the car September 8th, and my friend contacted David after he responded with, I can't say anything about that because I don't know what's going on. My car was stolen and I'm talking to the police. That was the last thing that David said. As things started to come out online and the ID of the victim, we realized that the body that was found in the trunk was his girlfriend, Celeste, the 19-year-old we had met a few times at his after shows, kickbacks, and parties. Now, one thing I can talk about that I'm 100% sure of is the two Celestes, because I've met them both and spoken to them both. And one thing I can say about looking back that I find weird is that when they were both in the same room, the older Celeste calls herself Cece. If there was one and the other wasn't there, then she would call herself Celeste. Now, I wasn't too close to David, but my friend was. He was always invited to their events and kickbacks at his place or shows at the hotels, and he would bring me with him. He was always surrounded by other streamers and TikTokers. Mark's Fat, and this guy, Ben. I don't know who that is. Now, when he would stream with other people at his place, he would pull Celeste, the minor, to the side and tell her he was going to stream, and she can watch him in another room. So the girl would go hide out. I specifically remember this because this happened during a tattoo party he threw, and there was a female artist named Jay. What a coincidence, Jay, who came from, and that's my name, by the way, Jay. That's how I just spell it. That's what I use for a tattoo artist name, is just the letter J, by the way. Okay, so Jay came in from an IE San Bernardino example, came in from San Bernardino. They're having a tattoo party. The tattoo artist went over there to the tattoo party, and there was Celeste, a minor. She actually refused to tattoo the minor Celeste because she needed an actual copy for her consent forms. And the minor Celeste was asking for a butterfly on the back of her neck like Cece got, the other one that was old enough. And I remember the artist kept saying no, and David getting annoyed, and he told the artist that she lost out on clientele. He was going to bring her, and she said, that's fine. We just have a policy like his NDA that she follows. All right. Now he tried to tell the artist Jay that Celeste had already had tattoos and she shouldn't worry because she's 19. And she told David, dude, I'm not going to lie. She looks 13. I need the ID. I respect your NDA. Please respect my policy. He said, okay. Then he pulled Celeste to the side and told her he was going to call another artist later and that he was going to stream and she should go back to the room. She can now come out when he's done. He kissed her on the forehead, came back to Jay, the tattoo artist, and apologized to her and gave her a side hug. By the way, I was getting tattooed cherry blossoms on the inside of my wrist. It's posted on her Instagram with purple nails. And my friends didn't get anything that day, but he did get a Princess Monano key tattoo on his back by her last tattoo. That's a long read. Event David had in May. So she got one back in May. When this back and forth was happening and when he left, I asked her if this was the first time she's tattooed him, and she said no. And that was her second time there because the last party, this fat guy named Mark told her Celeste was a minor, but she wasn't sure if it was true or not. But if so, Jay, the tattoo artist, wanted nothing to do with that stuff, and she didn't understand why the last party she came and the CC girl was getting called a different name. All right, she couldn't remember but it wasn't Celeste. She says, I tried reaching out to the tattoo artist Jay on Instagram to see what happened after the last party. I seen her where my friend got tattooed by around 2024. It was November of last year, which is scary. All right. Then I believe the last time David contacted my friend was when he played a show in San Diego on August 5th. Also, I'm hearing that the older Celeste is claiming she never knew or met Celeste, and that's a damn lie because this is Celeste in the back, and that's her looking annoyed and miserable as usual. When I spoke to her, she always seemed bothered when David's girlfriend was around and she wasn't getting his attention. Hashtag, guys, we talked about Cece being jelly. All right. So I don't know. I always seem like a love triangle. So I thought. I also find it weird that there's no information on David's whereabouts, and he blocked my friend because he sent him a text and the green bubbles were there. He does have a family in Texas, and I know he is from New York. So maybe he's out there hiding. Let's hope she gets justice. And the older Celeste needs to be questioned because it's crazy odd that she was seen wearing a dead girl's clothes. She always gave me bad vibes. All right. Wally, he's finished. I know that's leaked already. What do you mean? We're literally preparing to sue him. Lamp is about to I don't know what this is referring to. I don't know if it's David and his weirdo talking about nothing. He didn't do anything. But here's Celeste Herrera, and you got Celeste Herrera and Celeste Hernandez. Okay, look at that. Right there. There's the tattoo. There's the neck tattoo that this girl that we just read this long old thing of, this is Celeste, aka Cece, that would be in the same room with Celeste Rivas Hernandez and be Cece or Celeste. There she is again. And there she is again with Asia. That's Celeste Herrera. That's Asia. Celeste Herrera, and Celeste Rivas Hernandez right here. Okay? There you go. I mean, there's just so much of this stuff. It's hard to even fathom where to begin. And the parents have the same kind of deal. They got the same kind of shit all over the place. They're just being messy. Listen up.
Parents are definitely going to be going down. They're definitely going to be going down. David's family know it. That's why they didn't want to come to the grand jury and ask those questions. I also believe that David's father is also a lawyer. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if there's any form of malpractice that has taken place, or he knew of Celeste's age and basically turned a blind eye.
And also, I just wanted to correct him in this video because he talks about him being a lawyer. All right. I don't know what these girls see in David, but what I can tell you, Gigi, is that most of the girls, they weren't messing around with David. They weren't having sex with him. He wasn't interested in them. He just needed people to fill a space that he didn't have when he was in high school alone. All right. And the money. But none of the girls were trying to mess with David. They weren't like, ooh, that's my man. Get off of him. He's so sexy. No, the only one that had hearts and sparkles was freaking Celeste Rivas Hernandez and Neo. All right. Now, Cece was jealous. Don't get me wrong. Yes, she did. And everybody knew it. Everybody. Including the parents, guys.
And there's a chain of text messages that can add to this. Prosecution will find out for sure. And that would mean that David's father could be disbarred completely. Ooh, I don't think we really understand the ramifications that this could do to David's family. We already have his brother who was dumb enough to put out a music song and asking everybody to basically stream it. And he purposely made it after his brother, literally, allegedly unalived in minor. He decided now to promote this crap. But outside of that, guys, the parents, of course, refused to go to the grand jury. They still want to support their son. The deed got transferred to the parent's name. Of course, perhaps David's father was this person who advised that. And David's father could be in some serious trouble when it comes to his job, when it comes to being a lawyer, because he's not. Can't be.
He's not a lawyer at all. So I don't think he's going to get in trouble for anything that has to do with being a lawyer. But he will get in trouble for lying to a grand jury when they see the evidence that. And I got to give mad props to the web sleuths in this case. The web sleuths had this case figured out before David was ever even thought of being arrested. All right. But yes, let me correct. His dad is absolutely not a lawyer. Like I told you, he should have helped his son if he's going to help his son all the way. I mean, he litigated support that specialized in legal technology and e-discovery. All right. He knew what to do and what the legalities of technical evidence on the management side of, but not a lawyer. All right. They publicly deny ever even knowing her. They didn't know about anything. They didn't want to go to the subpoenas or go be by subpoena, but they also didn't want to be arrested because they say their son is innocent. All right. So let's continue. They could get in trouble for lying though.
Personality, of lying. You can't have that. Otherwise, you will become disbarred. That is a real thing. As a lawyer, you have to be authentic to the person you are in your everyday life. You can't be seen as somebody as a liar, especially when it comes to a potential now high-profile case. And the reason why I say this is because if we look back at what the prosecution was saying, throughout 2024, the victim spent a significant amount of time with defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family. So I don't think for a second that, David lied to the family about Celeste's age. I do think that is true, but I don't think that everybody in the family just believed that.
Nah, I think both families knew, and as long as the two were getting along and, Celeste turned back up when she needed to. So, right? Because when police went to David's house, guys, after they went to David's house, David was a target. He was a target of the investigation of her disappearance. And 2 days later, she mysteriously ended up back at school. Now, they were already looking at David, and they were talking to people online and minors that claimed to be around David and him to do stuff like that. They knew. They were already watching out for David. They were already investigating him. Hence why Celeste Rivas became witness turned victim. But David didn't know that. I do not think that he was obsessed with her just to kill her. I think that he was obsessed with her and he killed her because he fantasized about it and he saw these things, heard these things from Interscope Records and other creators, other artists, that they would do rituals and occults and witches. And he wanted to do that too, but he wanted to do it with gore. He liked gore more than porn, which means to me that I think his gore was his porn. I think he loved that kind of dead everything, anything dead. I think he was attracted to. All right, let's continue.
Followed that pill and ran with it. I definitely don't think that if you are clever enough to become a lawyer and pass the bar exam, suddenly you can't tell that this girl that your son is hanging around with looks like a minor, looks quite young. There are multiple images of her, even new ones recently released, that you can clearly tell that she's a kid. So grown men, grown women, the family around David, you're going to tell me that not one person knew that David was basically dating this girl or, trying to do something with this girl, and that she clearly was a minor. No matter how much fake ID she could present, there's always going to be an adult or two to be like, hold on, something in the buttermilk ain't clean, something, ain't right. Prosecution also adding this and mentioning David's family. I think they've done this on purpose, because as the trial will go on, something about David's family is going to be exposed for how they knew this stuff, they turned a blind eye, and that this could mean that his father basically could be in some type of trouble.
Now, the reason they're going to be in trouble is because they've lied, and they've lied on paper. They've refused to come to court via a subpoena and have filed their own documents in Texas to fight against California. But that's not going to fly. And if the dad could go on the stand and the mom could go on the stand and boldly lie, and then the prosecutor comes up and says, oh yeah, you never met her? Well, how about the picture of her and her phone pinging at the same time? Whatever evidence that they have. And I'm telling you, they have evidence, because I'm even showing you stuff that was deleted, and we're not even halfway through this yet. All right. We're not even halfway through this yet. And the pregnancy allegations, which we don't know either. All right. We don't know that yet.
She was traveling as a minor domestically and internationally, but domestically to Las Vegas and Texas to meet his family. So how would he even introduce her? And, clearly not one person in his immediate or outer family is going to question the fact that she looks quite young. They all knew what was going on. So I do wonder what they're thinking right now. But clearly, I believe that David's family or David's mom knew that he was talking to an underage girl. I categorically believe that myself personally. You guys might choose to disagree and say that David lied to them and the family all believed it. I don't agree with that, because I think that, not everybody in the family, especially parents, are going to be naive when it comes to him. But when there's millions that, he was earning over the past couple of years, all the Fortnite stuff that he was doing as well, the streaming, the man was making bank that perhaps his family never really saw as much as. And so therefore, why would you not? You would just continue to turn a blind eye. You would then assume Celeste will then become no longer a minor. She'll become a full-grown adult. They will continue to date and, be together or not together. The parents just did not give a damn about it. They just turned it around. But they're going to go down in this. Somebody in that family is also going to go down with David in some.
Oh, yeah. Now, listen, Krista, I haven't gone over the psychology of David, but I've really told you, I think, everything that you need to know about him being homeschooled and having these thoughts and ideas rolling in his head and being lonely and having mental health problems. So I chose not to. The reason I chose not to talk about all this stuff, what you're talking about, he doesn't have past with animals, but he does have when you look into his psychology, there's a lot of stuff to look at. All right. I just haven't got to it yet. So watch out for an episode. All right, let's continue. And he has a sister around her age. They had to know yeah, they did. There's no way. I mean, I don't even know why we're even talking about. I mean, we're talking about it, but I don't know why we're debating in chat with each other or saying anything, because the evidence speaks for itself. I just talked to you guys for an hour and 8 minutes, and I showed you a ton of stuff that is going to be in the prosecution. All right, now, Jay, the Italian cookie, mods, and everyone, there's 222 people. Say a prayer that Celeste Rivas Hernandez gets the justice she deserves, including the parents. All right, the parents now have to. They now have to, and now they can be arrested, guys. The reason they did the paperwork, they didn't want to be arrested and extradited to California like Nia was.
Way, shape, or form. I believe that is a big statement for me to make. That is just my personal opinion and theory, that as this trial goes on, if this goes to a trial, that the family, somebody in the family is going to get called out. Some kind of text messages are going to be exposed. Something's going to be shown where somebody in the family knew that she was a minor and simply did not care. I think something like this is going to be revealed, because I don't believe that he did this all on his own. I don't think Neo was his right-hand man like Batman and Robin, but I definitely think that people in his circumference, whether it's his management or his family, knew. One of the management team in a video that we've all seen literally says to David, hey, are you still dating that minor? That's somebody in his management team that has said to David on.
I mean, guys, the prosecution has a lot of evidence, and that's why it took so long, okay? They were not sleeping on the clock. I'll tell you on this one, I absolutely believe that they want to make an example out of David. Yeah, allegedly others might go down too. I agree. And I've heard a lot about the people that possibly were there in the dismemberment, and they took joy out of either helping just to for sake of being involved or seeing video of what happened. All right. What's up, Shadow Lion? Always good to see you. Do me a favor. Hit that like button, guys. I have a goal. And if you guys want to get at the end, if you want to make some call-ins at the end, that would be awesome. All right. So let's try to do that. If you guys want to talk about this, let me know in chat. And I gifted memberships gifted memberships here. You need one. I'll gift one in a little bit. And Patriot Pride, if you could drop the link, or not you, but the mods can drop a link for you. When are you coming on? You're saying Sunday? These guys have great shows. All right. Hey, Jay, the Blue Rancher. Yep. I got the Blue Rancher. It's hard to get over here, by the way. All right, let's continue.
Footage. And you're going to sit here and tell me that nobody in his family knew. Oh, they definitely knew. 110%. There was a video now circulating of David, and it's this bullcrap that I'm seeing from so many young boys and men, all part of insult culture, which we've spoken about, where he talks about how he's a gooner, and the word gooner, the definition might change for the new generation of people, but they also know what it means. The definition of a gooner is somebody who basically chronically pleases themselves 24/7, does it for hours and hours, and is literally in bed losing their mind to it. And so this was his response to basically seeing children on a stream. We can see in this video, it's been entirely.
So you guys have to understand the language to understand what he was doing. And you know how many times that he says gooner, and he has these memes that are, I was not knowing what they were talking about. I literally thought they were saying goner, like he's a goner. No, a gooner. Did you hear about that? Physically, it's the act of, right? And especially with minors. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. What? I mean, come on. We got to know this to understand. And this is what's going to happen with the jury. This is all going to come out, and it's going to take a while. If they do a trial, there's a lot of evidence coming out.
I told David has more victims, and you can just basically see him having this form of excitement to basically seeing these two girls sitting on the bed, where he immediately jumps up and down, obviously waving around his D, laughing and, basically salivating. And then he talks about how I'm a gooner. And this is this type of mentality that a lot of young boys think is funny. It's not. It comes across as perverted, weird, creepy. And there's nothing called online developing a personality about being a gooner. I mean, there is a subset of men, grown men, who have it as some kind of fetish, and they do it in their own little fetish corner. I don't give a damn about that. I'm referring to people online talking about I'm a gooner and saying all of this stuff to people who are not asking for this type of conversation. They're not asking for you to say that you're a gooner, but you think that it's funny, and you just want to, over explain to people that this is what you like to do, chronically touch yourself and please yourself, and that it's all hee hee ha ha. It's not. It's weird. It's very creepy, and it's part of this whole insult culture of men and young boys who just find it funny to make people uncomfortable.
Now, I hope you guys understand what that means. All right, yeah, I get it. It is disgusting, and the thing is that the Goober is to show support in England. What's up, Lee Vincent? I'm not sure what that meant, but thank you. I mean, he's proud of this. I'm telling you guys right now that he's proud of this. He's documented this, and I would not be surprised if he actually has footage of and evidence of the killing and dismemberment of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Now, I don't think that he was as smart as he thought he was, but David wasn't smart but it's all good because he'll easily get the guilty verdict. And guys, the clues he left behind and the people that have turned against him, that's going to sign, seal, and deliver this case, all right? And remember, he was an incel. He didn't go to high school. Nobody paid attention to him. He told us about that. He was isolated in his house, didn't get girls, friends didn't call and check up on him. Every video that I watch of this guy, he's begging, just begging for anybody to pay attention to him. And who pays attention to him the most? Neo and Celeste, the underage Celeste, all right? I mean, this is just, and don't worry, we're hopping next to more incriminating photos and documents in the David and Celeste case that are leaked and no longer available. That's what we're talking about today. Also, we will, if we have time, we will talk about the house getting swatted. I hope you guys knew that, right? You knew that David's parents got swatted. We hear the 911 call. People speculate that it was the brother that called 911 and swatted the family because he wanted the attention of police to go to the house. So there's things out there that I don't think that you would know if I wasn't digging it up, right? Yeah, I agree. I don't know why, but I agree. All right, let's continue. I'm going to find that. So
by expressing how you want to constantly touch yourself. And it's like, bro, you're not cool. You're weird. You're a freak, bro. You're actually just weird. Yeah. You're very much weird. It's very similar to a woman who is streaming right now. And on the stream, guys, she's got 2 men as pets. These men are covered in latex. They're sitting in cages and they're basically her pet. And she's streaming, everybody's watching. I have a big problem with this. Why? Not that of course, what they're doing is all consensual, but for the fact that there are people on this stream that are kids that are just watching that, changing their mindset, radicalizing them some kind of way. So young boys, the age of David or young, are watching David look at these minor girls on the bed and basically get excited, talk about how he's a gooner, and this makes them laugh, and this makes them want to repeat that behavior, right? Very similar to how, you know, this woman with whatever she's doing, she's got young kids watching that stream, which is absolutely insane. That should be adult only as far as I'm concerned, but it's not. And that in itself is a big problem when it comes to the youth. So if we're going to talk about protecting children in ways where we could prevent what happened to Celeste, we should also be talking about steps like this as well, and how people go to these streams and can watch this type of behavior that is basically being normalized. This is what David was trying to do.
It's actually what he was doing, because I further go on to read all of these things he's posting. So I'm going to leave off on that. I just want you to understand that what's happening here, and that all eyes are on David's family right now as this case gets bigger and bigger, and there's evidence. All right. And I'm going to show you more evidence because there's a bunch of leaked other footage. Also, I wonder if they're going to be able to find out about the 911 call, where that came from. Yeah. And that's typical with, honestly, Hollywooders. They usually are into the coke and probably meth, just uppers. All right. That's the first thing I want to say. And the second thing is, when you're doing uppers like that in we'll say gay men society, in the gay community, a lot of gay men like to be mathematicians and just do what he likes to do to young children, to their, yes, this one. Exactly. Yep. There you go. I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing in the gay community in San Francisco. I don't know about New York, but it is. It's a thing, and it helps them to continue. All right, let's get more into the footage and the things, and then we're going to talk more about the family and the swatting. You're going to hear the 911 call as long as we have time. All right, you guys, do me a favor, hit that like button if you can. If anyone wants to gift a membership, I'll match you, or I'll put one out and see if anyone wants to match me.
I can't believe it, people. I'm still finding dark evidence of David hinting towards having committed this murder and dismemberment on his Discord. I'm still finding new TikToks and Instagram posts linking David to Celeste, the minor who was found deceased in his trunk. I can't believe it. It's been...
And the sleuths are the one that found these things.
7-8 months at this point. And we're still finding new stuff that's damning. I'm still thinking that David's legal team is going to drop him, because this just gets worse and worse and worse every single day. And I'm tired of it at this point. We're still finding stuff. People saying, oh, you're making too many videos. I'm finding new stuff every day, and I'm delivering it to you guys. And I'm going to show you some stuff in this video that is just going to make you believe that David, without a shadow of doubt, did this and wanted everybody to know it. He put all sorts of cryptic posts on Discord and in his music and on his IG and on Celeste IG. It's crazy. All right. So there's going to be a long video. I'm going to break everything down to you, and I've got all of my links lined up here. And the first thing that I want to show you is really sad. Okay. It's a small thing, but I'm really, really sad to see this because this has been going around on Reddit just a day ago. It says David made a Discord post on, what's this, July the 7th, 2025. And it reads differently these days.
Yeah, it does. Someone got hacked internally, right? And I played it for a minute so I can resituate myself and check emails, make sure there's nothing breaking or anything like that. All right. And big shout out to Deb, says happy Mother's Day to everyone. And yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone. It's Mother's Day is on Sunday, and we won't see you after today until Monday. So happy Mother's Day. Cool and Chris is going to match me. So now I'm going to go gift another membership. Make sure your gifting is on, Rosie. All right. All right. Let's continue. Someone got hacked internally. Yeah, it definitely reads different now, doesn't it?
He said someone got hacked internally, right? Probably making a joke, right, about somebody leaking information or somebody getting hacked on the Discord. He says it's hard to imagine David not knowing what he was typing at the time, given what we know now. Someone got hacked internally. And they did. We know that somebody got dismembered. It is horrible. And Celeste was stabbed twice, and that's what caused her to die. How on earth is this freak posting stuff like this to Discord? He thought he'd gotten away with it. This is July. This is 2 months after he...
Guys, I feel like he just doesn't care, and that if he got caught or he thinks he can't get caught, he would just summon the gods of whatever, right? Summon the gods and let him out, or summon the devil, whatever he was into, because there's way too much evidence for him to even think about getting off on this. All right. Yeah. 7/7/25. That's the date. All right. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. She sends her love to you. They're doing something right now, so she's not in chat today. She texted me, but happy Mother's Day to all of you guys. Much love. I'm going to gift a membership right now. All right. We're going to try to gift you one, Lee. And you're welcome to gift memberships as well. All of you guys to help me get to that goal. Never made sloppiness become a serial. Yeah, right? All right, let's continue. And the only reason I'm using his information is because I can't read for 2 hours here. But I have access to all of this stuff. So I'm like, okay, this just came out minutes before I started looking for things this morning, and I just say, oh, this is good. This is a good one.
Allegedly hacked her to pieces. All right. I can't believe we're still finding stuff like this. And I can't believe this guy was so dumb and so brazen. Okay. It's unbelievable. People saying Zerx was my good old friend. He's been strange lately, but it's good. The tattoo mention is crazy. People saying, yes, Zerx has been strangely quiet for the past few months. What are his other socials? So Zerx is a very shadowy, unknown figure that was apparently a big part of running David's sordid Discord, all right? And a lot of things have been going around. This is somebody sharing a text thread with Zerx, and this guy's been a real gatekeeper of information that was deleted. Delete everything? This guy allegedly was trying to delete everything. It says, MFs don't even know the context. Twitter and Reddit always pushing a shitty narrative. This is in September 22nd, so after the body was identified. They said, what's the context then? All I see is you deleting messages in an alleged...
Yeah, this is crazy, the way he deleted things and had his mods delete things. That leads me to tell you that the mods knew that many of the people that surrounded him, they all knew her age and that it was a secret. Did they know he was going to do what he did to her? Probably not. Husky Lover, thank you for Guilty of Crime membership, as well as anybody else that wants to match me. I just gifted 5 memberships, and Husky Lover and Cool and Chris matched me with a 1 and another one. So there you go. 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. If anyone else wants to match, yes, it is going to be a Mother's Day. I hope you guys all have a good one, and welcome to all the new Crime Crew members. Danielle, good to see you. All right, let's continue. Deleting pictures of the owner, so they would, but so many people in the web sleuths that I have to thank. They took snapshots, they screen recorded, they saved. This stuff isn't gone.
PDF murderer's Discord server. So deleting pictures of the owner so they wouldn't dox him. They still did, leaked his address, called his parents. Fuck him, I don't care. All right. So, brother, there's no context for why he was telling others not to mention identifying features of Celeste that they knew of. Literally, LMAO, man says as fried as Asia. Okay. Crazy. Says, oh, wow, yeah, if this was months ago, I would have read it as computer hacked, but my mind linked him to violence. Definitely reads different. He's disgusting. So some news came around. This was circulating TMZ, and I
was going to read this for you, but it came up in here. So this is just you're going to keep seeing this. He got banned from TikTok, and he's being wiped out of everything now, guys.
Actually quite sad to hear this news. It's
not that sad.
Still up, and now it's banned as soon as I check on it a few minutes later. Could this be the beginning of them removing his content, hopefully his music soon?
Now, they're going to remove his content, but I want to assure you guys that they've been working hard on this case. And in my opinion, I believe that they removed it only after getting everything they could get from it. Guys, there's breadcrumbs everywhere. David is messy AF, and he left a trail of breadcrumbs, aka blood, everywhere. Digital forensic digital evidence everywhere. He's gonna get slaughtered on the stand. All right, he's gonna get slaughtered, and rightfully so. Thank you so much, Sadie's mama. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Thank you, guys. All right, let's continue. This is all on Reddit, so I was digging in there today. Whew, there's so many things.
Okay, people saying it's okay. The police have it all downloaded. Lol. Says they still need to ban the where's the huz, David's closet, and prayers. David's closet and prayers and David's talk. Definitely the right step in the right direction, getting rid of his content. First YouTube demonetizing his channel, and now he got banned from TikTok. Says the only people who benefit from David's account being deleted is David's defense team. Facts. His account could have been locked in the sense that David himself is no longer able to access, edit, or monetize it, but otherwise remain open and available for the public to look at. But
no, here's the problem, guys. He was missing, we'll say, for 7 months. Nobody knew where he was. We speculated he was in Texas because he gave the houses over to his parents or his mom. We thought maybe he was in New York because Neo was there. But when he got arrested, he was right there in Hollywood where he likely did not only that crime, but took other underage girls to that house. Crime time grime. I think David was in necrophilia. Why else would he care? Yeah, anything's open for that. Yeah, I mean, I was saying that the other day too. It's a possibility. David's the biggest slime ball who should be put under the prison because he's worse than the devil. What's up? It's Elvin in the house. Happy Friday. All right, let's continue.
Thanks to a bunch of dopes screaming and holding online pitchforks, literal years worth of online digital evidence in this case is now completely unavailable to the general public. Way to go, guys. Anyone cheering this on lacks critical thinking skills, in my opinion. But people are clapping back. They're saying they have 40 terabytes of evidence they don't need anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
And those videos probably included already. Neither sides have showed evidence, so we just need to wait and see. David and his lame-ass PDF murder cover-up team don't deserve to earn money from social media, which views and comments give him. Also, TikTok...
110% he had a cover-up team, in my opinion, guys, and they all turned on him. Guys, there's 77 witnesses that they have right now ready to go. And now I don't know who's going to fight against it because those are subpoenas for the people to come. Most people are going to cooperate. That's why I believe they made an example out of Neo when they arrested him. Neo said, basically, F you, I'm not coming. And they said, F you back. We're going to arrest you or detain you and make you talk. All right. And so the parents caught on to that and filed documents so that they cannot just be arrested frivolously without knowing. So they're trying to fight back, but they're losing. They've lost thus far. All right. 40 terabytes. It's a lot. And you know what's even better than the terabytes? The witnesses that were there to witness these things and say, yeah, man, she looked like she was 12 or 13, or we knew it. He said, stay off camera because you're underage. And he was dating or sleeping with the other minors. Witnesses are going to be gold in this case.
Usually removes accounts that belongs to people involved in high-profile crime cases like these to avoid sensationalizing the case. Okay, it says, I'm sure the prosecution already has what they need and the public isn't owed any form of evidence. This isn't about us. This is about Celeste. No, I disagree. I think the public is not owed, but I think the public is entitled to any evidence that will shared publicly. And I think we're entitled to make up our own minds and see what was going on. This was a dangerous predator, allegedly, in the community that was grooming kids. And we should be able to see what was going on. We should be able to see the tactics, the type of content, the type of presentation and facade that a predator like this presents to the public, so we can be more careful. So anyway, you get the gist, right?
Let's go a little bit forward because I want you guys to see some of these things that just completely show us that he wasn't trying to hide anything. And I believe it's duper's delight. All right. We haven't used that word in a while, but duper's delight is when you realize or you think that you've gotten away with something and you publicly.
This is a month before the delete.
And you publicly go on to get away with it. You publicly go and put a video out or a statement that says, I media trained you, right? And then she goes missing. Her body's found later. That's duper's delight. All right. When they think or realize they got away with something and they're on there just lying away. But I got to tell you, it seals the deal. Yes, duper's delight. It seals the deal for me when I hear the song about I don't need you or I never needed you. And then he puts Celeste's voice at the end of it. We all heard her voice in the message where she was breaking up with him or whatever was going on. How come you don't hold my hand anymore? Well, he mixed that into the song. And then on top of that says, you're dead and you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. That's what he says, in my opinion. I wish I could play it here, but they'll just completely, I don't want to get taken down right now.
Everything stream where we first saw him and her together. And this is allegedly in the months after their illegal relationship begun. She would have been 13, I believe. She would have been 13 years old.
It was.
And he's reposting it. This guy is a moron. How on earth is he reposting a picture of him kissed up? This is 3 kiss emojis.
Look at that.
Crazy evidence, okay? This is a David story, which he deletes a couple minutes after I screenshotted it, guessing he was meant to put it on his close friend story only. He slipped up hella times, all right? The police were investigating him for messing with this minor, all right? Within a few months, they were investigating him, and he'd been posting her on his story. It's crazy. Wow, she would have been 13 in this. So unbelievably sick. Didn't use my music, SMH. What a effing narcissist. Right? Crazy. Bro just casually posts himself on his story with a minor. He went to her classmate. Dudes who defend this PDF are suspicious as they try and defend him, saying she lied about her age. Passport had her age on it. She went to London. She never drove his car. Wow, 19-year-old college student not interested in driving her boyfriend's Tesla. No, he knew her age.
Guys, they all knew. Come on. Everybody here in the house got to put a 1 in chat if you actually believe that these people didn't know she was a minor. And I want you to remember a third victim has come forward about an being an underage minor and being raped by David. Not only raped by him physically, but he mentally abused these women. I think next week I'll go into the psychology of it, Krista, because you have to hear the psychology behind it to really understand what the hell happened in this case and why he's so out there. He's telling us I murdered her and how he murdered her, and he's laughing because he's getting away with it. All right? You put a 2. You don't think so? All right, let's continue.
Back on Fortnite, he knew all the girls he was interested in ages. He was a known perv on that game as other gamers called him out. So in some sick way, I feel like he got off on getting away with all of this and was leaving breadcrumbs everywhere, or maybe even wanted to get caught. It's called duper's delight. They get off on playing in people's faces. David looks like a creep, acts like a creep, is a creep. As someone who found out about him during a stream with Pokemon and Cat's Eye last May, it really blows my mind how many of you guys not only followed him, but followed him close enough to screenshot random stories of him and keep him this long. A lot of this would be lost if it weren't for you. And this is, again, which is what I go back to. Everyone say, oh, just stay out of it, or the police stay out of it. Well, I doubt the police have this. Honestly, I doubt the police have this one until this was posted. This is lucky that they...
But you see what's happening here? These sleuths are laughing at investigators. You could go on Reddit, guys, for the rest of the night and literally be entertained by the shit that was put out by David and the shit that people were covering up. It's all there. If he thought he deleted it, he didn't. And I think the duper's delight got to him so much, and he loved and basked in what he did. He fantasized about doing that to anybody, and it happened to be Celeste. I mean, look at that picture. Her hair's right in his face. He didn't hide any of this. They all knew. There's no way. Carly, my girl, happy Friday. Good to see you. All right.
Somebody, just a fan, screenshotted this before David was even that big, man. So shout out to all the online detectives, man. I think it's so good. It's so important that we preserve all of this. Oh, wow, what is this? It says, Dan, that's a crazy find. I really do wonder how much everyone else knew. I feel his family at least must have known her age. I just saw this post again. So if it's true, maybe everyone did really believe her about being 19. How could you not call him out? So this is a long post. I'm not going to read all of this, but I believe this was a tattoo artist that basically might have been the person that tattooed Celeste.
Okay, so this was the one I read to earlier. Cece and so two Celeste. Celeste number 1 was the 14-year-old, and Celeste number 2 was 19, allegedly. All right. When those two Celestes were in the same room, one of the Celeste, the older one that wasn't a minor, would call herself Cece. But she was also annoyed by it, the fact that he would pay more attention to the other Celeste and when she was around. Okay, so there's a lot of contention in these relationships and a lot of jealousy. I see Neo being jealous. I see Cece being jealous and upset that she has to be Cece and not Celeste when this minor girl where the hell did this minor girl come from that she gets all the attention? It's a lot. And I read all this to you already, so we're going to get past this. But I do want you to see some of these things and some of the lyrics. I really want you guys to go out and listen to that one song with Celeste's voice. It is so creepy, and I think they will use that as evidence. I don't see how they can't.
With a pretty voice who's trying to sell you something you already have. But if you're too drunk to drive and the music is right, she might let you stay just for the night. And if she grabs for your hand and drags you along, she might want to kiss before the end of the song, because love can burn like a cigarette and leave you with nothing. Says that's so chilling. From my interpretation, it seems like David groomed Celeste in such a way it made her dependent on his affection. I can picture him stringing her along while also pulling away, hoping that it would keep her pliant. And by the time she realized he was a sicko, it was too late. Such a sick, twisted man. I hope he rots. So dude was publicly reposting her and nobody knew. He intentionally never showed her face, and when he did on the infamous stream, she had glasses and a hoodie on. So I personally find that quite damning. There's some old Celeste IG stories that have also been preserved that people are bringing up. We might have seen some of these before. I'm tired. I need to get my coffee on. So this is sort of old Instagram stories and posts that have been captured, and David and Celeste will be appearing together in these, all right?
What are you doing, this, yo? This is not this.
That's her.
Someone sent it to me today. I don't know.
See, that's basically, they're saying, so she's doing Ask Me Anything. And people are saying, not going to lie, David kind of hot. And she's saying, too bad. She's showing a wedding ring finger with the David tattoo on her finger. This is a minor. January 2024. So when they were doing...
That was her finger. They were engaged. She was telling everyone. Someone sent that to me today in chat. I mean, in my email. So I'm looking for it. It's a song that talks about not needing her. I don't need you or something like that. I believe it was after. I'll look for it right now. But somebody sent it to my email, and I really think that this is going straight to the prosecution. I'm sure it's already there. Just like this January 28th, they have Celeste's phone and documentation from her side as well. All right. So I want you to realize that this is going to make it into, and I believe that song particularly will make it into the evidence.
The delete everything stream. She's still 13. She's been proposed to. She's the fiance. That's an engagement ring and a David tattoo on her finger, bro. It's ridiculous. How on earth was this allowed? How on earth did this lie under the radar? Not gonna lie, David kind of hot. Too bad. We get married. You 13. It's ridiculous.
He was playing mind games, in my opinion.
Romantic homicide over Lucky's whole discovery. She's got Lucky as her top person, saying you're funny anyway. Stream David's music. All right. Things I screenshotted from Celeste's Instagram back in 2023, 2024. Before anyone asked the reasons I screenshotted them, I used to be a massive David fan. When all the news came out in September, I remember I had these and resurfaced them. They've done the rounds on Twitter. You may have seen them before. One thing I do think is very odd is the one video of David, "What are you doing?" video. He seems so guilty in that video. It actually made me sick. It says this is the highest.
Yes. Somebody named Stephanie, I don't want to say your last name, sent that to me. And I know you, Cuff You, you're all over this. So if you can remember what the song was, I think it was, he had different versions of it, and they're saying it was unreleased. All right. It's Stephanie. If you're in chat, if you can resend that to me, you emailed me guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com.
Quality I've ever seen of this video. Because yeah, I was the original person who screen recorded it, got clips a lot on Twitter and re-uploaded, so the quality went really bad. Okay. Says, that's everything I have, unfortunately. She also replied to my DM once when I asked her if David's coming back to the UK soon. She just replied something like, we will be back soon. If I can't remember right, her profile is gone now, so I can't check. We will be back soon. So she went to London talking about, oh, when you come back to the UK, we will be back soon. We will be back. She'd been there before. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. She's talking about, she got anything else? The clips where they're being affectionate just feels gross to even watch. Dude was just openly dating a kid. WTF, then goes on to kill her. What type of sick stuff was going through his mind? Okay. It's so sad. They're saying her hands were so small. So there's new videos of Celeste and her family going around. And again, this just drives home. This is a kid, right? It's just a kid, a child with their family. Just want to point out, they're saying this is happy birthday, Gustavo Jr. Gus? Is this Gus? Is that Gus? Is that B Gus? Okay.
And if anyone knows if that's Gus, I want you to remember I showed you this video the other day of the family. And Gus, people were bringing up Gus being a person that was also graping her before she even knew David. All right. That's what she was running away from, allegedly. Lee, thank you for letting me know about the free membership. Yeah, you just come hit the like button, drop a comment. All right. I'm just digging through stuff because there's so many things. All right, let's continue. Sorry. That's super loud. There's Celeste off to the left. You see her? She looks like a baby.
It's sad to see. So that's Celeste over there on the left. And just a kid, you know. I was going through pages on TikTok, specifically Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and on there I encountered a comment left by It's a Martinez, who I believe is a family member because I heard the name before. I just wanted to share with the community a beautiful video of Celeste smiling and spending time with family and friends. It's good to see her actually enjoying life. Rest in peace. She looks like such a baby. She was, right? Anyone that knew her would know she was just a little girl. So apparently, this footage, was it deleted? I believe this is the same clip.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of deleted footage, and you go to a link now and it doesn't go to anything. So here's the song, and I can't play it. I can't do anything with it really, but I can show you. It's called I Never Needed You. All right. I Never Needed You. This is the song that David released a year ago. I don't know if he re-released it a year ago or what he did with it, but he dropped it on SoundCloud, and it's, if you listen to the lyrics, there's one thing. Then at the very end of it, he mixes in Celeste's voice, the voice where it says, how come you don't hold my hand anymore? And he goes on to say, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. All right. I have it. I found it. I found the I Never Needed You song. That is the song that uses Celeste's voice intertwined with it. And he says, you're dead. I mean, everything about this. He's telling everybody what he did. And we're looking at this like, how could someone be so stupid? I don't think he was stupid. I think he thought he was going to get away with it, guys. Let's see if I get away with like 2 seconds. Hold on. I just want you to hear the you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. They'll probably make me cut it out. I just don't want to drop the whole stream. You've been dead, you've been dead, you've been dead. You've been dead, you've been dead, you've been dead. Now, that's Celeste's voice that's telling her, hey, why don't you hold my hand anymore? That's what he did. He dropped this song, and then he dropped her message over it and says, you've been dead, you've been dead, you've been dead.
I think you want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different.
How you going to change the narrative and say something completely different? You've been dead, you've been dead, you've been dead. Yes. That's what I want you guys to understand is he's a monster, and it's a psychological thing. It's a mental thing. It's a mental issue, but it's more than him just being dumb and thinking he's going to get away with it. It's a lot deeper than that, guys. I got to tell you, in my opinion, I will have to go over that next week.
But it apparently is in 2021. So what's interesting is I'll be real. This is just my opinion.
I know.
I was thinking maybe she looks a bit older here, but if this is 2021, that means that she's probably like
been
what's
dead,
11,
been dead, been
like 11 at this point, 11ish. It's just so sad. It's just unbelievable that David would even think that he would even think.
I don't think that he thought he was going to get away with it. I just think he thought it was all going to get glossed over because in Hollywood, we see it time and time again. And I'm sure his freaking manager patted him on the back and said, hey, buddy, don't worry. We're going to stop the tour, but we're going to get you right back on track. We're going to get you a lawyer, the best lawyer. And don't worry, no one's going to find you that you did anything. An absolute monster.
Pursue this person, this child, right? So there's more stuff that's popping up. David had a creepy profile picture, the Hello Kitty covered in the bloodstained t-shirt with the blindfold on. That's meant to be a Zatami character. He's got 4 there, all right? Low-key should have got sued for copyright infringement, but I think there's something to do with Hello Kitty where the copyright's expired or something. But he was loving this, right? Hello Kitty covered in blood. The Hello Kitty is a siren. He's the Pied Piper using the Hello Kitty stuff to lure in these young girls. Now, look, I think Hello Kitty's quite cool, right? I would say
no.
I would say like 80% of the women I've dated have been super into Hello Kitty, and over the years, I've learned about the Hello Kitty franchise, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cute. I've got a couple of Hello Kitty plushies on my bed too. But the way that David was weaponizing the Hello Kitty to build up this young audience, like I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with Hello Kitty on my own time, and I think it's cute, and I might buy a girl a plushie, you know what I'm saying, as a little gift. But an adult, right? Adult girls are into this. It's just the way he was using it, the way he was like defiling it. Hello Kitty's some cute shit. Don't cover them in blood in a ripped shirt and blindfold them and torture. Like, I mean, he's made them. I guess he's made them African American as well. But like the use of this iconography against children is what's wrong. Okay, like Hello Kitty is actually quite cool, and it's also a very interesting business. They've made billions. Okay, so I actually have a personal vested interest in that. But the way Hello Kitty was being weaponized by David is just gross. Says, guys, I want to come here and give a bit of context to David's profile picture on TikTok. Some people trying to say it's Celeste as Hello Kitty. I drew it, so I'll explain the whole story behind it. David has this alter ego called Itami with the bloody shirt. Before he blew up through this case, he was mainly known for romantic homicide, and in that music video, he's wearing the bloody shirt. A lot of people like me went to his concerts wearing the shirts we all made, and it was pretty well known in his community.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even find the Duper's Delight card, but essentially Duper's Delight is watching yourself get away with something and just loving it, enjoying it, loving being online, saying things like, you've been dead, you've been dead, you've been dead, and all these other things that we're seeing come out, all right? Mickey Sayer just gifted 5 guilty of crime membership. If you receive one, please do thank her or them. All right, man, that's awesome. Yeah, he was. I'm telling you, he literally was enjoying every second of it. I wouldn't put it past him that he didn't do things with her body after he took her life.
Community that he liked Hello Kitty. So I originally drew this to gift him at a show. I sent it to him on Twitter after I drew it and woke up the next morning to him having it as his profile picture. A month later, I gifted it as a picture as a show. And since then, the profile pic has not changed. He doesn't want his art getting dragged into any of this. He drew it for him to help with his aesthetic, but now he hopes that he rots in jail. Right? People saying you did nothing wrong. And honestly, it's a cool piece of artwork. It's just a shame that this guy was using this imagery in such a screwed up way. So there's a few old David Discord messages between.
We just did that. I just went through all that with you. We're not going to do any of that because I still want to get to, I want you to hear the 911 call of the parents being swatted, etc., etc. Down there, dude, he was insanely good with choice of words. He was really intelligent. He was very childish, though. Yeah, definitely childish. He got stuck in some, I don't know what point.
Like he had literally completely regressed to childhood. Now, I found that very interesting. And my deduction from that, honestly, is that I truly think that David was in these relationships with these minors and he was regressing to a childlike state. Part of his grooming strategy and also part of spending so much time around kids. You're spending all your time with your 13-year-old minor girlfriend. That rubs off on you. Look, I've been in relationships where you spend all your time around a chick. Yep. And, you start having each other's little mannerisms. You got your little in-jokes, all right? Imagine you're in a serious relationship with a 13-year-old. I know it's ridiculous.
Even say that.
But you're going to start acting like a 13-year-old. You picking up the little habits and mannerisms of a kid. She been socialized in damn near not even into high school grade yet. So that's what I think's going on here. And I do find it really interesting. So
she was last in the 8th grade. Make that make sense, all right? Just, it doesn't. I'm going to pull this down because we're going to get into the parents. And then if you guys hit that like button, get a membership, all that. If anyone wants to call in about this, you certainly can. But we are going to get into all eyes on David's parents. All right. Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And also there's another thing, like Lady for Justice said, keep an eye on your children because online So you can't trust them to go outside and play in the yard because we got FedEx drivers that are taking our children, and we're scared to have them online because you got predators like David that are grown-ass men. And guys, I believe me, on YouTube, there are a lot of grown-ass men that play with toys and attract the audience of children. Now, what they do with those children between YouTube and Discord, that's another story, but it's your responsibility, my responsibility, and it was her parents' responsibility to watch her and understand what was happening, going on. Yes, Dark Scale. Yes. For the goal. Thank you so much, Flojo. I always appreciate you. All right, we're going to look at all eyes on David's family and the swatting call. Did you ever go over that, Flojo? I'm just curious if you went over the whole swatting thing with the 911 call. This came out perfect timing because all eyes on David's family.
Did David's family really know about his alleged relationship with 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez before she was found dead and dismembered in the trunk of a Tesla allegedly registered to him? What did they potentially say to a secret grand jury in the months before the now 21-year-old was slapped with murder and mutilation charges? And did his brother really think...
Hold on, sorry.
Think now is the time to just kick off his own music career? We're talking about David's family right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. David Anthony Burke, known by his moniker, his stage name David, is accused of sexually abusing a teen girl for months before allegedly luring her to a swanky rental home in the Hollywood Hills, killing her with some sort of sharp instrument, letting her bleed out, and then cutting her up in an inflatable pool in the home's garage.
All right. And obviously we know now that the blue was in the pool. Thank you, Mimi's Chateau. Hi, new here. Hope all is well. I really like your page and your show. Well, thank you. Welcome, Mimi, you guys, to the Guilty of Crime crew official. Thank you. Awesome. Come on in. What's the goal for? The goal is to, this is to support the channel, period. We do a lot of things on the channel. We do a lot of giveaways. Lots of giveaways. We still have Foxy boxes out there that we need to give away. So memberships, merchandise, and giveaways. But we'll also call in. If we don't make the show, I still want you guys to have the option to call in. So the goal is to support the channel. Keep giving stuff away, Crime Con, all that.
Horrific. But this is all according to investigation by the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division and now the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Now we know David has entered a not guilty plea to the charges that he faces, and that his attorneys, led by Blair Burke, say the evidence will show he didn't cause Celeste Rivas Hernandez's death. Exactly what that evidence might be, though, still unclear. But again, as he faces these charges, including first-degree murder and their special circumstances allegations, which can make this life in prison without the possibility of parole, maybe even the death penalty, even though there's a moratorium on executions, the stakes are very severe.
I think he would really hate to be on death row because he would not get attention. We know that he was in his own living hell, the way he described being homeschooled, right? He was just in a box by himself. Well, guess what? If he's on death row, and California is holding that right now, they're not moving forward with any death penalties. However, I say that to say this: he would be in a cell for 23 hours a day, isolated. He would hate that. Let's go death penalty for David. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mimi.
And today, as we inch closer to a preliminary hearing in David's murder case, I want to do something else. I want to talk a little bit more about what we know about him, his family, his relationship or alleged relationship with Celeste, and what's next in this very high-profile criminal case. Because you may or may not have heard of David before Celeste's body was found in the trunk of a Tesla towed to a Hollywood tow yard in September. The singer-songwriter shot.
Well, we're not going to do the whole episode. I just want to get it. This is actually brand new, though. But I told you a lot of things in this already from days before, like the documents that his parents filed in order to not have to testify against their son. Failed, didn't work. Tanya, thank you so much for the $4.99 super sticker, and everybody else. Yes, Shadow Lion. David looks like a much younger version of Diddy, but he also looks like a darker version of David. And if you see the parents, He almost looks identical to the mom, right? So hey, no attention. I think that I think it's a split decision. People are saying things about David's brother and his music that I mean, I just don't know. People are saying they don't blame him for doing that. What do I know? If he tells and he testifies against his brother and does all the right things, kudos to him. I don't know.
To fame in 2022 with a song called Romantic Homicide, which has more than, I think, 1 billion plays on Spotify. His latest album, Withered, landed a top 15 spot on the Billboard 200 when it debuted last year. This is according to The Hollywood Reporter, sandwiching David in between hitmakers like Billie Eilish and Chappell Roan. Guy's a big deal. By the way, important for the legal case, his career. And David also made headlines in the music industry because of his production process. According to an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, most of his songs are recorded on his iPhone using apps like BandLab. But his success quickly pulled him from his Texas bedroom to the international stage.
Now, she was 11 in the documents that have dropped. Now they say she was 11 when they first met. And yes, this is absolutely horrible and sad. And when you realize what he did to Celeste, allegedly, all right, Celeste is absolutely the victim here. And anybody that is in the family also. So, I mean, I have empathy for her parents. Did they do the right thing at all times? In my opinion, no. But I still sympathize with parents that lose a child. All right. Yes, he does. He needs to do that so he doesn't mess it up. However, I'm glad to see that he's not lying about his brother and supporting him, saying, no, I was at the concert and she was totally 19. She showed me her ID. No, he's saying the opposite.
Multiple websites list David's net worth as between $2 and $3 million, which, by the way, we weren't able to independently confirm, but it's safe to say that he has been seeing some serious success. You got to imagine that. And in September of 2025, the media pivoted from talking about his Withered concert tour, which he soon canceled, and instead focused on his alleged involvement in Celeste's death. She should have been celebrating her 15th birthday, but instead, she was found dead, dismembered, some of her body parts still missing, all in the front trunk of a Tesla, reportedly registered out of Texas to David. She had last been seen or heard from months earlier in April. So now David was the focus of serious scrutiny from law enforcement and online sleuths and traditional media, and that scrutiny spread to his family as well. And it turns out that as David was writing and releasing Romantic Homicide, he was also allegedly interacting online with young fans.
I don't think he really knew how to interact with a grown woman. I mean, anytime I've seen him in videos, and there's a lot, he documents everything, including allegedly taking a shit, right? It's the second shit I've taken of the day. Don't worry about the smell, but he just doesn't, it doesn't seem like his mental capacity. Now, I'm not making he was exactly where he wanted to be. He knew what he was doing, but I do not think that these grown women were sexually attracted to him at all. And I don't think he behaved in the manner at all ever that a woman would want a grown man to. So it was easier for him, in my opinion, to interact and have Celeste as a little play toy he could play mind games with and all the other little girls, right? He didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to work hard. Right. After David, why would parents let their younger brother join the same group? He's 18. The parents can't do anything.
Out. But as David was writing and releasing Romantic Homicide, he was also allegedly interacting online with young fans, including Celeste.
Yep.
According to a brief that was filed by Los Angeles prosecutors in anticipation of a preliminary hearing, quote, pursuant to their investigation, LAPD robbery homicide detectives determined the victim and defendant met in January 2022 when she was 11 years old. They began a sexual relationship in November 2023 when the victim was just 13 years old and defendant was 18. But he wasn't the only one interacting with Celeste. She apparently spent time with his friends, including Neil Langston.
Well, here's the thing. I'm glad you said that, Kat. Kat's here. I'm really glad you said that, because I was thinking about that as well. And the parents, why would they be okay with Caleb going with, back in the day, going with David, etc.? I didn't know he was making music too, or as well, but those parents seem to be focused on money, money, and more money. They're saying their son's innocent after taking all of his assets off of his hands for him. And then let's see how they roll with Caleb saying the statements they do in his music career. I guess maybe they figure if one kid gets a music career and has a bunch of money, then we have money. I don't know, but that's a good looking out. Flojo says, I hope when this goes to trial, we find out why. Yes, that's another thing. He was pulled out of school because of his things that he was doing. It was his isolation as to why, and I wish we knew as well. But he got even darker. You can't put somebody with mental illness in a room by themselves all day on the internet and expect everything to be okay. All right, you can't. You got to pay attention to your children's mental health.
Who was purportedly one of David's good friends. Investigators say she even traveled to Texas with David to meet his family. The prosecution's brief states, throughout 2024, the victim spent a significant amount of time with defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family. Now, it's unclear how much David's parents and brother knew about his interaction.
I mean, guys, this was like a duper's delight for him, straight up. Every single time we saw him in a picture that's everywhere with Celeste, and you could only see from here up, or delete it all. When she talks about him raping kids, he got a joy out of that. He probably even got aroused by the fact that he was getting away with what he was getting away with.
With Celeste, and if they were aware of how young she was. But we do know that the family was ordered to come to LA and testify, seemingly in front of a grand jury, as prosecutors were working to build a case against him. After David's arrest in April, an attorney representing the Burke family released a statement to Rolling Stone saying the parents are sad and disappointed that David was arrested. However, they fully stand behind him and believe that he is innocent. They fully support him. Okay, before we jump into this, look, the weather's getting nicer.
Now, I did hear about him being bullied allegedly and etc., but I wonder if that's the real reason, what the paperwork would show. All right, let's continue.
David is the only person to have been charged in connection with Celeste's death right now. His family members have not been accused of any wrongdoing. But David's parents are Colleen and DeWood Burke. He also has an adult brother, Caleb, as well as a younger sister. This is according to TMZ.
I mean, in all honesty, he kind of looks creepy too, and it's maybe because he's not smiling. I can't tell, but when I look at him, he looks like a darker version of David, in my opinion, and he looks a lot like his mother as well. Like he got the color from his mom and some of the looks from his dad. But to me, I can see David all over again. That's all I can say about that. Yeah, he 100% groomed her, and there are other children as well.
Going to get into more about Caleb and how he's maybe turning heads right now in just a second. But last fall, when all of the speculation started swirling around about David, the Tesla, a body being found in California, what was going on in Texas? Well, the Burke family home was reportedly the target of swatting. So swatting is a dangerous prank where someone calls 911 and pretends that there's been some sort of incident, so it requires an urgent police response. It's a hoax. And in this case, 2 Waller County deputies responded to that home in Hempstead, which is apparently on a large piece of property set back off the road. But according to Realtor.com, the 4,400 square foot home sits on nearly 7 acres of land. And it all started with a phone call to 911 on September 18th, so just days after Celeste's body was found.
Waller County Sheriff's Office is Amber. Hello?
All right, this is the 911 call of the house getting swatted. Now, Master Death Hancock, I absolutely saw the interview that he talks about teachers bullying him. But what I'm trying to say is David doesn't always tell the truth. So I'm wondering if that interview about teachers bullying him was really why they homeschooled him. That's what I'm trying to reiterate to you. Now, if that's the case and he told the truth, cool. I did hear that in his interview. I've watched lots of his interviews, but I haven't played them all here. Now, this was the 911 call that was swatted, that aimed at the parents' house to swat them. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, Waller County Sheriff's Office.
Hello, I need help.
Okay, what's going on? Where are you at?
My address is...
Okay, what's going on?
I heard, some like gunshots.
Okay. How close to your residence were they?
They were like right outside my house, and I think someone's dead.
Okay, what's your name?
Say it again?
What's your name?
I mean, you hear that, Flojo, and I'm sure you've heard this a bunch of times, this 911 call. They're obviously skewing their voice, maybe using a voice box, but people say that it could have been the brother. Again, you got to remember, nowadays it's so easy just to put a filter on your phone. I could download an app that changes my voice and call in. All right. And I don't know like what or how or where the phone was. I don't know if law enforcement ever dug into any of that, but listen to the voice. You know, you could obviously tell. I haven't even started it yet, Krista. I'm going to go back. I haven't started it yet.
Where someone calls 911 and pretends that the 4,400 square foot home sits on nearly 7 acres of land. And it all started with a phone call in the 911 on September 18th, so just days after Celeste's body was found.
Waller County Sheriff's Office is Amber.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Waller County Sheriff's Office.
Hello, I need help.
Okay, what's going on? Where are you at?
My address is...
Okay, what's going on?
I heard like some like gunshots.
Okay. How close to your residence were they?
They were like right outside my house, and I think someone's dead.
Okay, what's your name?
Say it again?
What's your name? Okay, what's a good phone number for you, sir? Okay, and why do you believe that somebody's dead?
I just heard like a loud scream, and there was gunshots.
Oh, scream. Okay. After shots. Okay, but you haven't saw or heard anything else after that?
I heard a scream.
Was it a male or a female scream, do you think?
It was like a female.
Female? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get deputies headed out that way and just confirming you're at...
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get them sent that way, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So someone's alleging that there's someone dead at this home, doesn't want to provide much detail.
It does sound like David, but it also sounds like Caleb. They sound very similar. Now, I don't know why David would do that to his family. I'm confused about David doing that to his family. It makes more sense to me if it were Caleb, to draw the attention of law enforcement, since everyone was sticking up for David. But I mean, why would David do that to his family? That's what I'm curious about. Yes, that was the 911 SWAT call. We'd love to hear the parents' discussion about Celeste going out of state in the country with the Burke family. Me too. And you're not going to hear it because they're hiding behind a lawyer. All right. You're definitely, we went over that too, about the anime and things that he ate the fingers. So yeah, I did a whole episode on that early this week.
We spoke with an audio expert, by the way, for an episode of Sidebar when this first came out, and she said the voice was distorted and it's likely someone trying to mask it. Now, one of the responding deputies called into the sheriff's office to get more information from the dispatcher as he approached this property.
How far is the other guy out?
I want you guys to realize this is in Texas. That is not California. So I don't know if that's confusing. If I confuse you, you say, don't think that the dead person was Celeste in that house. I'm not sure what you mean. This is just a complete false SWAT. Swatting means, and they started doing it in video games. They got mad at each other. Gamers would do that, and they'd call 911 and say egregious, outrageous things. I just took my whole family's life. Come now. What, sir? Stay on the phone. And they'd give their address. They'd come, and it was just a fake call. So, no, this was in Texas at their family home. All right, let's continue. They didn't show it. I don't see body cam. Maybe FloJo knows. Right here.
Let me see where he's at compared to you.
Show me something to me, Mark.
Exactly. There wasn't a dead.
He is turning right now onto 359, so he's probably like 5-6 minutes if he's booking it. Yeah, this house is far. Be careful. Wait on him, Chris.
That's what I'm doing.
Whenever he told me, he was like, hey, I just heard gunshots and someone's dead. And I was like, wait, what do you mean somebody's dead? Like, how do you know that? Do you see them? And he's like, no, he's like, I heard a lady scream right after the gunshots. And I was like, okay, so have you seen anybody? Have you heard anything? Have you heard any more gunshots? He's like, no.
Yeah, this is just a fake call. There's no dead body in Texas anywhere that had to do with their home. It was literally, people speculated that it was people that were mad at David and the parents for not doing so. Well, first of all, David for being a chomo and the parents for lying about the connections. All right. Caleb, most not like his parents, neither. All right, let's continue. This has nothing to do with anything. It was a fake SWAT call. And I shouldn't say fake SWAT because that is what swatting is.
I was like, okay, well, what's your name? My name? And I was like, yeah, what's your name? But behind it, to the side of it, yeah, so yeah, just be careful.
Yeah,
he's almost he's on Porter Lane right now already. So he's moving.
I'm gonna move up a little ways and we're right in.
Now, you got to remember, there's so many things going on in this case right now. And we're in Texas listening to a 911 call that I'm grateful for getting. They're not going to tell us who traced the call and where it came from and what they did. I'm sure it will be in documents somewhere, but nobody's being charged or anything for it. So nobody's said, yeah, we traced the call, and they wouldn't tell us if they did. It's just a SWAT thing. Yeah, it's period. I don't know what else to say about it. It was in Texas. Has nothing to do with the case related to, other than the fact that it was David's parents' house that got swatted. And many people speculated it was just people that were pissed about what he did to Celeste, and the parents back him up. That's it. That's all.
Okay, well, we're going to close it when y'all get there, just to make sure.
All right, let me grab my yeah, because this ain't right. I remember one time coming out here when I first started, and we had a crazy dude back here. Now it was like when I was on FTO.
Yeah, and I looked at the prior scene because he kind of gave me that vibe. But yeah, it's a very long driveway that loops around to his big old house. Yeah. So I mean, there's no like houses close to him. That's why his property is huge.
Yeah.
That's why when he said that, it confused me.
All right, let me let him know. I'll get him about the court beside me. I'm gonna let him know.
Okay, fine.
So the deputies, one of whom, by the way, is armed with a high-powered.
By the way, they blurred this out on purpose. All right. Now, I don't know. I don't think they're going to offer him a plea deal. I think they have so much evidence, crime time grime, that they're going to go for it. So my answer is no. I don't think they're offering a plea deal. You can't take a plea deal if you don't get offered one. Yeah. Thank you, Gigi. The best way to say it is it's a prank call. The story of Tyler Barris from LA. I've watched all of that. Are you talking about the gamer that is still in jail, Tyler Barris? Oh, I've if that's what you're talking about, yes, I absolutely have seen that. Is that the house where they shot or they went in and they shot and they killed them? They killed them, and it wasn't even the right house that they were swatting. But even if it was the right house, it still wasn't, nothing had happened. There's some areas in Houston you can call 911 and they won't even show up. Yeah, I get it. San Jose is like that too, guys. All right, let's continue.
Rifle walked up to the Burke's front door.
Wait, we got you covered here.
Of course, TMZ got it. Yep. Okay.
Here, knock on the door. We got a phone call from here.
That's a huge deal there, Flojo and crew. If you call somebody and you do a SWAT like this and it ends up in death or something terrible, that let's say they rip apart the house and someone gets killed or whatever, what have you, then there's going to be huge repercussions. And that's what happened with the case Flojo was talking about. This guy, these gamers were having a thing and it happens, right? And he got the other gamer swatted, but the SWAT team went to the wrong house. It wasn't even the right house. And when the guy opened the door, they just killed him. They straight up shot him dead at the wrong house. And even had they had the right house, none of that shit was going on. All right. Yeah, like in Idaho, way different from that. Exactly. All right. Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Yes, please.
Saying that somebody was dead. What? Is there somebody else that lives on this property that has your address? What's your address? That's it.
That's it. That's what actually
We got an address. There was a gunshot and a woman scream.
What?
I'm serious. That's why we came up here like this, because then they talked to the caller. Whoever they were talking to said that there's a person dead.
No, sir.
David's mom, Colleen, apparently fearful that the deputies might not be who they say they are, called 911 to verify what's going on.
Sorry, buddy, yeah, but somebody called and said there was something. There was a person that they called on themselves. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, there's somebody dead.
Someone's dead.
That's what we have. I mean, we take caution. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to scare y'all. This house is way off the roadway.
You just open the gate.
Now, guys, they did this with Caleb Flynn recently, right? The American Idol guy that shot his wife allegedly twice in the head. All right. They did the same thing. They blurred it out for, purposes of not wanting to get sued. Now we stop at 222. There's 222 people right this very second. Say a prayer that Celeste Rivas Hernandez gets the justice she deserves. That's David's parents right there, guys. It was a prank call, essentially. If she had called 911 to rescue her daughter from David. All right, let's continue.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it back. I'll get it just like it.
I think it's going to get my country.
Yeah, when it's something like this, when they say somebody's dead, their life matters more than, you know what I mean?
I hear.
Yeah, the dispatcher read the phone number of the person who called 911 to Colleen, typed it into her phone, and it didn't show up in her contacts.
It ain't on their phone.
And this is not a Texas.
Yeah, it's an out-of-state number.
Someone's messing with us.
Whoever it would be pinged here, though, because wherever they call from, it pings and sends it to dispatch.
What?
So, like, whenever you call 911, wherever you are, it sends like a ping. That's how they know the address.
You hear that?
And this address came up to this number?
Yes, ma'am. That's where he was meeting.
You hear that? See, that's why I need to listen to it. Yeah, you've seen the footage unblurred. Okay. Regardless of what it is, I've seen his parents, right? This came from TMZ. It's probably unblurred on TMZ. That's neither here nor there. The whole point is they're just telling them that the call came from their own house is what they're saying, right? That's exactly what they just said. The call pinged from their house, inside of their house, right? Follow me.
Engine 42.
So is there somebody on my property?
Could be. We'll check the property for you.
So there's this police report that was apparently reviewed by TMZ that says the deputies were on the property for another 20 minutes or so before they closed out the call, determining that it was likely swatting. And TMZ also later reported that David had transferred deeds of 2 Texas homes to a trust in his mother's name. That reportedly happened on September 18th and September 20th. Why? Remember, September 18th was the day of that swatting call. It's not clear why the singer decided to do the transfer, but there was speculation at the time that if he did end up getting arrested in connection with Celeste.
Look at that picture right there. Him and Celeste clearly, guys. If this doesn't speak volumes to David and what he did and who he is and what happened to Celeste and his duper's delight, I don't know what will. You would never catch me or anybody that I would hang out with. I wouldn't hang out with them anymore if I knew that something like this was going on. That's it. That's clear. You can't get any more defined than this picture, right? Now, the swatting really has nothing to do with much other than people are mad at them. And maybe it was Caleb. Maybe it was a random swatter. But yes, he's a monster, and it goes deeper than just being a monster. There is a psychological evaluation on this guy just made from the outside looking in. It's not from him directly. Obviously, we would never get that because of HIPAA laws.
Dad, he didn't want authorities to be able to seize his assets. It's also interesting to note that between September, when he canceled his Wither tour, and April, when he was arrested, we don't know where David was. We didn't know where he was. He went silent on social media, didn't make any public appearances as far as we know. He was arrested in California. Is it possible that he was lying low at one of those Texas homes during these months? We know he was arrested at this property in California. How long was he there? And another interesting connection, we actually learned for the first time that David was a, quote, target of a murder investigation because of court documents that were filed by David's family. What do I mean? In February, what's called a petition of attendance was.
All right, so he's explaining it better than I could. Now, we talked about the right of habeas corpus and then the intention, which typically the first document is just to clear their name and to tell the world, hey, my son is innocent and we back him up. All right. So if you guys go back to my last episode, I showed you all the documentation. This is just like 1,000-foot overview of the parents not wanting to testify. They don't want to be involved at all. When a stranger calls, 1979 or 79. I was born in 1979. What about it? Yes, May 20th. All right, let's continue. At the very beginning of the show, Krista, I told everybody when the trial or when the next court date is and what they're going to be presenting and what's next. So you might want to go back to the very beginning and rewatch that after this.
Filed and essentially was trying to compel Colleen, DeWood, and Caleb to appear before a Los Angeles grand jury. And here's an example of what that paperwork said. Quote, that if DeWood Burke comes into the state of California in obedience to a summons directing him to attend and testify at said grand jury investigation, the laws of the state of California and of any other state through which he may be required to pass by the ordinary course of travel to attend such proceeding shall give him protection from arrest and the service of process, civil or criminal, in connection with matters which arose before his entrance into said state pursuant to such summons. That DeWood Burke is an adult, that the prosecution will provide the witness a round-trip airplane ticket and transportation to.
They're doing everything to get them there. And guys, Caleb is making these real public statements that he's not going to be able to back out of. They're going to use him as a witness, it's going to be a good witness for the prosecution. When you see that Caleb came out with a statement that says when he was 15, he met Celeste a few times, and he goes on to show the picture that she was there with them and the family. Guys, that's one of the things that's going to seal the deal, because David's trying to distance himself from Celeste. As far as he's concerned, that first time when law enforcement went to his house because the parents filed a missing person case, David at that very moment became a target of a crime of being a pedo, essentially, being with an underage minor and a runaway minor being at his house. I don't understand why he went on to kill her and think that they wouldn't know that she was with them when they were watching her the whole time. So this also didn't need to happen. She didn't need to die. I wish law enforcement would have done something in between the time she went back home and between the time she went back to David's for the very last time, because they were watching her. She was a witness, and they were going to proceed with a case against David and being a pedo. Don't forget those new court documents. They said they're no longer needed since David was arrested. And but they don't know if they're not. If you listen to at the beginning of this, Flojo, I talked about a grand jury. They might still need a grand jury depending on the evidence. So I'm gonna have to kind of, I don't know, maybe not agree to disagree with you, but the prosecution, listen, they're going to go back to court, and if they don't have enough evidence, then they will have to have a grand jury trial. So they do need them. Next, Krista, if you're here, pay attention. Listen, what's next? May 20th, 2026. They're going to have a preliminary hearing in Los Angeles. Now, summer of 2026 is when it's expected, if the judge finds sufficient evidence to move the case to trial. Now, listen, otherwise, if they don't and they need more, the prosecutors may seek a grand jury indictment, which would mean they need DeWitt, Colleen, and David. Now, I looked up what was next and are they due based on what they filed, and it says DeWood, Colleen, and Caleb remain under subpoena, and their statements could be introduced at the hearing if they cooperated. If they don't cooperate, they're still under a subpoena. All right. So, I mean, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say they definitely going to try to get them to testify, and they can plead the fifth all they want, but law enforcement is convinced that they knew what was happening and they knew she was underage. And now we can collaborate that with Caleb. Caleb's saying, oh, yeah. Caleb's saying a much different story than his parents are. You're welcome, Krista. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. All right, let's continue. Hey, Rose. Good to see you. Rose hasn't been around for a while.
And from the airport, wherefore it is requested for and on behalf of the state of California that your honor certify to the above and foregoing by the issuance of a certificate thereto under the seal of the Superior Court of Record in the state of California to compel the attendance.
I want you to understand that this is all up to date. So earlier when we went back on the deleted Discord leaks and all that stuff, that's all up to date, up to today. This is up to date, up to yesterday. So everything we're talking about is relevant. Now, the leaks were old leaks, basically showing you the connections between David and Celeste, David's friend and Celeste, David's brother and Celeste, David's mods and Celeste, the Discord, and you know what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? So that they can do all they want with pleading the fifth. You're right. But the problem is that if Caleb's talking, there's stuff going to be coming out. And law enforcement is really compelled to have them there. This is all up to date. So I'm not forgetting about the 30th, but this is new. So they are still under subpoena in California.
Of DeWood Burke as a witness at the grand jury investigation on the date and time set forth and pursuant to law. So clearly they wanted him, right?
Yeah.
And we had a chance to dig into that court paperwork, and attorneys for the Burkes filed a writ of habeas corpus arguing that the order compelling them to go to California was illegal.
So I'm glad that this was the topic today, because we just went over the documents and I didn't quite understand them like the lawyer would. So I kind of broke down what right of habeas corpus was and the other document alleging their son is innocent. This is exactly what we're talking about right now. They're not winning. They did not win this situation. This is what unfolded with the document. The judge is still saying, if we want you to testify, you're under subpoena, you're going to come or you'll be arrested.
That it was unlawful because they didn't get fully unredacted copies of the documents that were accompanying the request. So they didn't have the full information. They didn't have notice. Now, a judge considered those arguments, but ultimately denied the writ. But as part of those proceedings, there were some documents that were unsealed. And it gave us a look at where this investigation stood at that point. Again, this is before David's arrest. In those documents, David was referred to, and this was a big shocker, as a target of a murder investigation. Quote, it is alleged in this case that the target may be involved in the death of 14-year-old victim Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who may have been a victim of foul play. Her severely decomposed, dismembered body was found in the front trunk of Target's Tesla on September 8th, 2025. On September 8th, 2025, at approximately 10:30 hours, Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD detectives, received a phone call from the manager of Hollywood Area Official Police Garage. The manager stated a black Tesla Model X had been impounded as an abandoned vehicle by the Department of Transportation on September 5th, 2025. The manager told police there was a strong smell of decay coming from the vehicle, which was attracting flies. LAPD detectives responded to the Hollywood tow yard to investigate. Detectives approached the vehicle, which was parked on the upper deck of the impound lot, and immediately noticed the smell of decaying biological material consistent with a decomposing corpse coming from the front storage compartment.
Now, you guys, anybody that's worked in law enforcement, we've talked about this several times, and if you haven't worked in law enforcement, maybe you're a hunter and you've got the smell of death from an animal, what have you. It's not one that you're ever going to forget. All right. Good night, Maggie. Thank you so much, Jay, for all you do and explaining everything. So much appreciate. You're very welcome, Texas Angel. I appreciate you for saying that. All right, let's move forward. We know what happened already. All right, we understand what happened. The medical examiner responded to the tow yard to process the decomposed body. All right, and we know they opened the bag and there was her head and torso, and underneath that was the dismembered limbs. Not all of them either. Not all pieces were there. All right. So I did not realize what I didn't realize is, okay, so detectives were advised on August 26th. They reported the Tesla had been abandoned abandoned from across the street of Bluebird Street in Los Angeles. All right. On August 27th, the Department of Transportation officers responded to Bluebird and marked the vehicle. Right. They'll mark the vehicle, and if someone doesn't move it or come get it, then they impound it. So that's how it got impounded. However, we now saw today that David was saying that his car was stolen. He was telling people were coming to him, right? He was on tour, and people are like, they found her body. They found a body, and they're saying it's your car. He's like, don't be silly. That's all rumors. My car was stolen. I'm on tour right now. Quiet, hush. It's all nonsense. We didn't know that. We didn't know he was telling people that until just now. All right. I'm sure it is. I don't even want to know. I'm sure it is. We'll just leave it at that. All right. Application for right of habeas corpus.
The first one, on January 23rd, Colleen and Caleb were in attendance, as well as 2 LAPD homicide detectives who could testify if they needed to.
There's Caleb.
We don't know why DeWood wasn't present, but Mia Magnus represented Texas as well as California, basically by proxy. And she argued that the determination about materiality of these witnesses, like their importance, why they're valued, was already made by a California judge. All the Texas judge needed to do was make sure that the paperwork was all in order and to tell the witnesses they needed to go. Now, the judge said, actually, since this was so last minute, he didn't have any of the paperwork. So they decided to reschedule the hearing for several days later. At the February 2nd hearing in Texas, Colleen, Caleb, and DeWood were all there with counsel. Bennett Dodson, assistant DEA for Waller County in Texas, told the court
he was just, I think he was just doing that to get people off of his back. He didn't, I don't see any paperwork anywhere that says he called it in stolen. Tesla should have sent him alerts if his car was, that's why I'm telling you, he didn't document that it was stolen. We now see from that big message and those leaked discords and all that he was telling his friends and his people that, oh yeah, my car was stolen, no big deal. He didn't file that anywhere. All right. And I do wonder, but I haven't seen a damn thing about it or necessary. I don't think it's a secret to anyone at this point that Mr. David Burke is a musician who is quite famous. And this matter concerns a car that was registered to him at these witnesses' address here in Houston that has a dismembered, decomposing body in it. I would say if it was a car with a dismembered decomposing body is registered to your home address, that is something that you should expect to be questioned by about the authorities. No kidding. And he didn't even I don't even think he tried to file a police report. But even when I look at it myself, I still think these witnesses are material and necessary because of the relationship that's involved with the witnesses and the defendant. So my ruling is going to be that they are to go to California and honor the subpoena by California. There it is. Mic drop. Did you hear that, Flojo? Today is May 8th, all right, 2026. And the judge has ordered them that they are still under subpoena. They can take their paperwork and their bullshit elsewhere, because if they don't go, then there'll be consequences. All right, let's continue. I just want to make sure we're on the same page, because I know you're into this case a lot, Flojo, and I don't want to say that the judge is still saying they have to go if they're not.
Go to California and honor the subpoena by California. And while the judge ordered the Burkes to go to LA, appear before seemingly this grand jury, it is unclear when that happened and what they had to say, apparently, in those secret hearings. However, as I mentioned earlier, the family has come out in support of David. They say they believe he's innocent. And I will say this, and this is a new update, and it's a bit of a strange twist, to say the least. But as David is languishing behind bars right now, as he's awaiting his preliminary hearing in his trial, and again, he's innocent until proven guilty, his brother Caleb is making the news. Because Caleb has apparently taken this opportunity to launch his own music career. Yeah, so according to a report from TMZ, Caleb has used several stage names, including a version of his name where a V replaces the A. And his more recent monikers are Karakova or just Kova. And
so now we're talking back to Caleb and him making music and him standing on the side of justice for Celeste. He has not once said justice for Celeste, and we hope David gets justice in this case too because he's innocent. He's never said anything like that. As a matter of fact, all he said was, all pedophiles should be killed or something to that effect. Also, Tammy, listen, who steals a car to park it down the road from where you live? Nobody, for two reasons. Number one, I haven't seen anything that says that he reported it stolen. And number two, they have video footage of the last person that was driving the car and walked away from it. That's not being stolen. His father has a law firm. I guess they thought, no, but his dad doesn't work. His dad has nothing to do with being a lawyer. Well, I don't see anything about him having a law firm. Maybe he's a litigation support manager. He specializes in legal tech and internet or e-discovery. All right. It doesn't say he it doesn't say anything about that. It says he specializes in legal technology. It's the process of identifying, preserving, and analyzing digital evidence for legal cases. It says he is not a licensed attorney and he cannot practice law. He cannot represent clients or give legal advice. All he does is provide technical and operational support to legal teams, and especially in civil litigations, not criminal. All right. So I don't know I know there's some rumors and things going around, and I even thought that up until today. Is he a lawyer? No, he's not.
Earlier this week, Kova released a couple of singles on major streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify, by the way, the platform that helped launch David to superstardom. And the two singles are called Sex and Imaginary Love. Now, of course.
There you go. Those are the two songs I was talking about earlier. Both of them I never want to hear again. And Caleb looks creepy to me. That's just my opinion. Does he look as creepy when he's smiling up there? No, but the fact that this all happened, Imaginary Love and Sex, two songs being dropped in the middle of a shit storm with his brother being a pedo, not such a good thing, but maybe it will be. Maybe he's going to be a genius, and when this all blows over, we're going to have Caleb, and he's going to have gotten himself into that algorithm where people are bowing down to him like they do with his brother. I don't know. Oh, they know. Why didn't they help him delete all of his evidence if he was such a good person to help with getting rid of or obtaining? It seems like he didn't even try to delete anything.
Music and Spotify, by the way, the platform that helped launch David to superstardom.
He just said
and
that.
The two singles are called Sex and Imaginary Love. Now, of course, the decision to release music right now is getting a lot of backlash, with some online calling this move tone deaf, demonic. This is according to the Mirror.
Yeah.
But Caleb attempted to silence the critics through a lengthy Instagram story on Thursday, appearing to distance himself from his brother, from David, dispel rumors that he helped his brother somehow cover up the alleged murder. Again, there's been no allegations of that. There's been no definitive proof of that. And Caleb also addressed a video of him circulating online, interacting with Celeste backstage at one of David's concerts. So Caleb's post says the following quote, "I've been wanting to say something."
I don't need to. We already went through all this. We did all that, said it, done it, and we'll go to the last moments. If anybody wants to call in, let me know in chat. If not, then happy Friday. Have a wonderful Mother's Day. We're going to play the last
preliminary hearing later this month, because the preliminary hearing, which is when the court will hear some of the evidence that prosecutors have against David, determine whether or not.
And there he is again, just to clear it up. He is 5'5", guys, 125 pounds. He could have fit in some real man's pocket. Like, if you're a real dude out there, you can put him in your pocket. And I'm not saying things about his height or his weight because I'm being an asshole. I'm saying it because he's a pedo, and allegedly he is. And he allegedly took Celeste alive in a gruesome manner, all while publicly displaying it. All right? Yeah, look what your brother was arrested for. I know, and you choose to exactly. That's hard to swallow. Absolutely hard to swallow that. Sweating in his mugshot, sweating out all those D-rugs, right? All right, let's wrap this up then. Yeah, I think we've been here for freaking 2.5 hours and we made half the goal. I appreciate that. Next week, we'll try again.
The case should move forward to trial. Is there enough probable cause to support the charges? And that was originally scheduled, by the way, within just a few days of David's arrest, but the defense said they have terabytes of discovery to sort through. They're not ready yet, so the preliminary hearing is now set for the end of May. So we'll, of course, continue to follow this case closely, bring you any updates as they come out. And, of course, if we hear any more connections to David's family, we'll talk about it. But that's all we have for you right now here on
all right, guys, you guys made it. So there's the actual Tesla. Again, I guess that came from Reddit. Flojo sent that over to me. Pocket Monster, no offense, Pokemon. So that's the actual car that they found Celeste in. I mean, obviously, David didn't take care of much of anything, right? He always looked dirty to me anyway. But you can see the car was dirty. That's how we left it. And I'd love to find out if he actually made a police report that it was stolen, because if that's the case, there goes another charge against him, right? Because we saw that. All right. They do take your word for it or go off what your driver's license says, because they also do this. They also have a measuring, they put a measuring device behind you. And I'm assuming they'll eventually weigh you. They're not just going to be like, oh, okay, we'll go with 6 feet tall and 200 pounds. They're not going to do that. That's the Model X. And we talked about that my last episode. We talked about the Model Y trunk versus the X when Duty Ron came over here and showed us. Thank you, Janine Adams. Appreciate you more. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they wrecked into something. They always looked high. No, the Y, it's an X model. I'm pretty sure that's the X model. We had a whole conversation about that. David, Flojo, are you still here? Anyway, I'm going to have to correct that because it was the Y model that they documented. So if they documented it wrong, then everything's wrong about it, because we went over the X model versus the Y, and the X model has a bigger trunk. We showed it. Yeah, it's the X model here. No, it was the X model. All right, that's the X model, right, Flojo? We had a whole conversation about that on the last episode, and Duty Ron showed us his trunk, and you went on to correct the fact that the X model has bigger, about 2 to 3 cubic feet bigger than the Y model that had to that Jennifer Coffindoffer had to get in. All right. Yeah, it's 100% thank you. Sometimes chat, of course, chat, you guys, we want you to interject, but I don't want to document this improperly. And then everyone says, no, look at that. I clipped it. Jay said that was the Y model or the X model. So that's all. I just want to make sure we make it abundantly clear. And I thought we did that, but thank you. I appreciate you. X is only Tesla model with okay, but also the trunk. That word, synth, that word, you can't use that word. All right. We went over that last episode. 4.1 versus 6.5. All right. Yeah, happy Mother's Day weekend, you guys. We need justice for Celeste. I gotta say this, and I say it again. This is like I think David thought he was going to pull this off by having several Celestes. Now that's Asia, but what I'm saying is he had a lot of females that tend to look like Celeste, and we had Celeste Herrera. That's Asia. All right. He's playing mind games, in my opinion. And there's the dates of him and his family being in Las Vegas on a tour at the same time that Celeste and her friend were at that same hotel, or let me see. Esmeralda's mother posted, this is Caesar's Palace, and that was the same time they were there. So on the top, October 28th, 2023, and on the bottom is dated October 30th, 2023. So they're at the same time. All right. Which there's lots of other evidence also that proves the connection between David, all right, and his family and Celeste. Don't know how. Yeah, that's the thing. He didn't even care. All right, guys. Happy Mother's Day. I can't believe how long we've been here. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back next week. Look forward to Monday at 4 p.m., Krista. 4 p.m. California time. I'm always going to be on California time. 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a wonderful night. Happy Mother's Day weekend, friends. Good night. Happy Mother's Day to you, Deb, too. I'm glad you were able to hop on. Midnight Lace, Allie, Cat's here, Gigi, Flojo, go sub up to his channel right now. All right, have a great weekend. Love you.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?